All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Reading Sprints, or welcome in about 30 seconds if you are not yet live because StreamYard lags a little bit, and then there's probably like an ad or two you have to watch. So I'm sure people will be trickling in. But thanks for joining us tonight. I'm super excited to have three of my friends here with me tonight. So I'll let them all introduce themselves to you. A couple of them you've seen. I think you've seen all of them on my channel in some way or another before because I talk about them all the time. But I'll let them all introduce themselves. Why don't we start with Hannah and we can work our way around.
All right, I'm Hannah. My channel is Hannah's Recent Reads. I'm so excited to read tonight. I'm reading The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and I'm like literally at the end, like the last 40 pages
like
maybe left. So like I'm right in the thick of the action right now, and I'm so excited to see how it's going to end. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice. Should I go?
Sure.
Okay. I'm Elizabeth from Reading Wryly. Yeah, what am I reading? I have a book. I'm reading Notes on an Execution by Danya Kukafka right now. And I think I'm like 65, 70% through it. I'm listening to the audio, and it's been an interesting ride so far. It's definitely got that literary suspense vibe. There's some weird perspectives in here, and the first one, it's basically following this guy who is about to be executed for killing a bunch of women, and so we're following him as the clock counts down, and then we're also following the women in his life that he's like affected, but in his perspective it's in second person, and it's not like a normal second person where you would they're talking to somebody. It's like somebody's talking to him saying like, you are doing this, you are doing that. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, that's what I'm reading. Go ahead, Marcy.
Well, first off, Hannah, you said you were enjoying the Atlas 6, right? Here, I'm interviewing really everybody. And are you enjoying Notes on an Execution? I know a lot of people have DNF'd that book.
Oh, really? Yeah. I've heard really good things about it.
Really?
But I feel like the normal crowd of people I look to for reviews aren't reading it as much because it is more like a literary thing.
I am enjoying it, but I've been kind of going back and forth. Like, it was really hard for me to get into at first because the writing style is really dry. Like, there is no flowers. There's no like beautiful words or anything like that. But it's so it's very much like she did this and then she did that. So it was like kind of hard to get into it. But once I did get into it, I really liked it. But then I set it down and then picked it back up, and it's from like a new perspective now. And I'm back into that space where I'm like, am I into it? So I don't know. It could go either way at this point.
Cool. Well, I'm Marcy from Marcy Reads, and I am currently, surprise, in the middle of a few books, but I'm planning on focusing on 2 tonight because I do want to dive in.
I saw Hannah taking a photo. So
sorry, I was on my Instagram to come join us. I did a boomerang.
And I want to do a little bit of diamond painting, but I also have a physical book. So for my audiobook, I'm listening to The Night. Hi! She's so cute. Hi.
She's like, oh my God, I'm on the TV.
So my brain's happy. I'm listening to The Night Parade by Ronald Malfi, and I am really enjoying this. I think this is my 3rd Malfi book, and this has to do with this disease or virus. It's called the Wanderer's Folly, and it affects people. They don't know how yet or how it hits the system, if it's airborne or anything, but basically you start sort of like hallucinating and just like losing your mind, and then your body just gives up and starts bleeding and you die. And I'm really enjoying it, and it's following it's following a father and daughter, and they are fleeing because they're trying to get the daughter, because the daughter might be somewhat of a cure. And so they're just like fleeing, and his daughter's like so cute and young. So I'm loving this one. And then I'm also reading an ebook of Hidden Pictures, and I am loving that book. Have you guys read it?
No, but I really want to pick it up.
I'm definitely interested in that one.
It's so good so far. It's kind of like slow, but very atmospheric. And there's like something, I don't know if you guys have heard, but I don't want to ruin it for you. But there's an aspect to the book that just, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I just fell in love with it. So you guys have to read it. I don't know how it ends. So I don't know if it's like really good, but.
All I've heard is really good reviews for it. A lot of people have been really liking it. I saw Gabby read it first, and then since then, I feel like everyone who's picking it up is loving it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am Ashley. Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm sure you all know me. I'm reading The Latecomer by Jean Homp Corlitz tonight. I just started it last night, so I'm only like 12 pages into it. It is long. It is a chunker. Over 400 pages, which is long for a thriller, and it's also super like dense and wordy and going to be really slow. So I probably won't get very far into it tonight, honestly. If you've read The Plot by Jean Homp Corlitz, it's like a similar writing style to that one, but honestly, probably even a little slower from what I remember that one being. So I don't know. I hope it's good. But also a couple of disclaimers for everybody tonight. I cough a lot still. I'm still dealing with a gross cough and allergies. So if I'm coughing tonight, sorry. Just ignore me, or I might mute during my coughs. I think that was my only disclaimer, actually. Oh, my other disclaimer was I see there's a lot of comments coming in, and I usually try to be better about clicking them, but I've been behind. So sorry if I don't see your comments tonight. We appreciate you being here, and thanks for joining us. And let us know what you're reading in the chat while we're still chatting it up. Okay, but let's catch up a little bit. Hello, Jessie. Thank you for joining. Hello. Hi, Renee. Hey, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
I have been feeling a little meh about my reading. I'm working through a reread of The Haunting of Ashbourne House by Darcy Coates, and I might read a graphic novel. Next.
Have you started it yet, Ashley?
Nope.
Me either. I kind of want to save it till it's like closer, so everything's super fresh in my head.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that too. I have Jesse's book club I'm going to be on Thursday, and I haven't started the book for that yet. And then for Gabby's, it'll be like 3 days later. So I'm trying to wait until like 2 days before to read for Jesse's, and then 2 days before, like speed through the books.
Yeah.
We'll
Sometimes I do that. I'll leave like a couple days, and then it's like not enough, and I'm like, whoops. Like, alive is that day, and I still have like 50 pages or 100 pages to read.
Yeah, hopefully there's audiobooks so I can fly through them a little quicker.
I have the audiobook for Ashbourne House, so.
Where did you find that, Anna? Because I saw it on Audible, but I couldn't find it on Script, and I don't think they had it at my library.
I got it on Audible.
Oh, okay. I was trying not to use a credit, but I will.
I don't know if this is like a hack or just like a thing that people know about, but if you have Kindle Unlimited or you get the ebook, it gives you the audiobook for like $7, $7.50.
Okay.
So I have Kindle Unlimited, so I got the Kindle version of it, and then I got the audiobook for like $7.50. So it's cheaper.
It's a good hack.
Yeah.
I'm so excited you're reading Book Lovers, Jessie. I loved it so much. Have any of you read Book Lovers?
Not yet. I'm so nervous.
What did you think, Marcy?
You know, no. I promise you, I loved it, but it doesn't beat the other two for me. I think that the other two were 5 stars, and this one was like a 4-star for me, but I still loved it.
Okay.
It beat Beach Read for me, but it did not beat People We Meet on Vacation for me.
Okay.
I wonder if that's how it's going to be for me too, because People We Meet on Vacation is my favorite. Beach Read is just under that, but still 5 stars. But I'm so nervous to read Book Lovers because like some people are really not liking it.
People were hating on it like, early on, and I was like, they were wrong. Yeah, people were DNFing it or saying it was boring, or that the main female character was like too uptight, and just all these complaints about her. And I was like, you're all objectively wrong.
Annoying. Yeah, so I'm kind of nervous.
I can see why they say that about her, but you know, me, Ashley, I know you vibe with her for the same reason that I vibe with her.
Hannah's a Virgo too, so she also.
Hannah, you're a Virgo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm not. Hannah's
here. What are you? Hannah, I think your birthday is the day after mine, right? You're the 29th of August. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are August Virgos. Okay. Elizabeth, what's your sign? Or do you?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh,
Another
my
Earth
moon.
sign.
My moon is in Capricorn. We're all Earth, you guys.
So grounded. I love
I
it.
love it.
Yes.
Read Christine by Stephen King. 749 pages. I didn't know that one was that long.
Books are so long.
That's about a car, right?
Yeah.
I think
Kill
it is.
driving car.
You know, that happens to me when I read too much King. I'm so stupid. When I read too much King, it's like a lot because his books are so wordy and so thick and so dense. I would take breaks. I would take like a really long break now from reading his books.
Yeah, I read 3 of his at once,
Ooh.
like 2 years ago, and I don't think I've read anything ever since then.
Yep.
Taking
that
an
happens.
extended break.
Yep.
Hi, Jordan. Just starting 1, 2, 3 by Lori Frankel. Nice.
I haven't heard of that one.
I can like see the cover in my head, but I don't know anything about it. All the hellos. Hi, Cammie.
Hi, Cammie.
Hey, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Tara, everybody's here. Oh, comments just jumped on me. I was going to ask this question as well. Marcy, what other Malfi books have you read?
I have read, I pulled it up because I saw that question. I'm like, wait, what have I read? So I've read, I'm a mess. I've read Snow by him, really good as well. And I have read Come With Me, which was a newer release from him, but they've all been great.
Yes, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that was like a Goodreads one last year, I think.
The
Top
Come With
4.
Me, yeah. I think Snow was the first one that I read, which is, it's a great winter horror book. And then Come With Me, I read after that. And I think it's because I had just read Snow, maybe. I wasn't like super loving it because Snow was just amazing, but I did enjoy it. It was kind of like a slow burn.
What is his vibe? It's horror, right?
Horror, yeah.
What is it, like a specific, like, is it a haunty? Is it psychological?
So Snow is about it's wintertime and there's these creatures that come with the snow and just kill everybody. So it was a little bit gory and like suspenseful. And then Come With Me is a little bit more of a haunting atmosphere. He's actually chasing questions or answers to what happened to his wife or what his wife was doing leading up to before she got murdered at the shopping mall. And so he's uncovering secrets. And so it's like a very like mysterious kind of vibe.
Yeah, people have recommended that one to me because I like grief horror so much. And with it being like his wife dying.
Yeah, it's not too much on the grief. I mean, he goes through some stuff, but it's not really big on grief. At least it wasn't for me because I love grief horrors as well. So maybe it wasn't that intense for me, basically.
Yeah. I saw he's got a new one coming out. I just saw it yesterday. That one looks creepier, like creaturey, I think.
Yeah.
From what I remember. Oh my gosh, Snow. Cozy Mystery. Oh, I didn't know those were in the same series. I thought it was just a separate book.
I think maybe it's like a companion. Maybe not, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All these cozy mysteries, they always do that much.
So
I unhauled it before I ever read it.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It wasn't anything special, in my opinion.
Something wilder. Oh my gosh, Denise. We've got to talk about it. Denise always has opposite opinions from me, and I would like die for this book. I love it so much, and I'm so afraid that you're going to hate it, Denise. You got to let me know. What are you thinking?
I want to read that one next. You got me like wanting to read it.
It's so good.
What is the premise?
I feel so confident. So the concept is you're following this family. So it's a dad, a guy, the new wife that he has married, and his 2 kids who are like 12 and 14, a boy and a girl. And they're going on vacation to Australia. They're like from Seattle area because the dad has like a work conference. So they all go over there and the kids are getting bored. They're like, we want to see koalas. We want to do cool things. And so they end up meeting these people who are like, oh, we live on this island over there. We've got koalas and cool things, but like, we can't really let people onto the island. Like, you can't really come. It's kind of like close knit. We can't really risk that. And they're like, we want to see koalas. Like, if you like throw money our way, we'll take you out to the island. So the dad throws out some money. They go over to the island on a ferry. And then something super tragic happens that creates a really high stakes situation. And the family is not allowed to leave the island. And it becomes like a survival escapism thriller from there. And it is so good.
I already have it downloaded onto my iPad, and I am ready.
Oh, Elizabeth, are you muted or did I lose sound?
I was muted.
Yeah.
I was just saying I love an isolation trope, so it sounds right up my alley.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sounds like the perfect summer thriller, you know, like just be on the beach reading this scary stuff. Ooh.
I haven't started the book either. Okay, good. That makes me feel better. Well, we'll start it soon. Reading Mistborn by Brando Sando. First Brandon Sanderson book. In a reading skip this month. I assume reading slumped, maybe. Last book I read was Good Rich People, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5. Can you all just say the first thriller that comes to your mind that I should read next? The Island by Adrienne McKinty.
The first one that came to my mind is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I don't know if I'd recommend you
Also a
read
good
that.
one.
Absolutely. In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife. I really loved too. That's another good one.
The Push.
Yep. All good options. There you go.
I haven't read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife yet, but I've been dying to ever since like Gabby was raving about it, and I bought it, and it's just sitting there.
I think Ashley affected the way I describe it to people because I know because it was so hyped up. I know you didn't love it as much because you had these like really high expectations. So now when I describe it to people, I say like, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're not reinventing the wheel, but I think it's well done for what it is. And I really like the characters. I like that they're like all morally gray characters. So I love that.
Cool.
Yeah, when it was getting hyped up, I felt like I was just expecting the craziest plot twist I've ever read. Like, you would not believe what happens. And it's just very classic, kind of. Okay. It's like a classic thriller feel. It is good, but I was just expecting something
that's the worst
unattainable.
Too, when you get super hyped about one and then your expectations are not met. It's unfortunate.
Oh my goodness, the comments keep jumping on me. This is awful. Gwen, yes. Reading the Island.
You guys are making me want to start it now.
It's like I'm starting a cult here. Marcy, have you read Firestarter?
Yes, I have.
Are you watching the film?
I haven't watched it yet because I'm a little bit torn because that's a book that I did not expect to love like I did. I went into it with just like, okay, there's going to be, another one of, and I loved it. And then I watched the 80s or whatever 90s film and loved it so much as well. So I'm like, can they, I was looking at the trailer and I was like,
hi, Denver.
I was looking at the trailer. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. And I really haven't heard much about it. I've been trying to stay away from spoilers, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about it either. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a Stephen King book and another adaptation that just came out.
Is the movie? Oh, the movie's already out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So. Oh, the Haunting of Ashburn House audio is on YouTube for free, but it skips. Oh, well. Take what you can get. Just started the summer I Turned Pretty. I'm excited for that show. I did not read the book, but I really love the To All the Boys I Loved Before movies. So I'm really excited for her next thing. Amazing. Influencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how I felt. It's like the best thriller I've read since No Exit. No Exit was like heart pounding. How is she going to get out of it? This is so intense. And that's how I felt reading The Island.
That makes me want to pick it up.
I know.
Pick it up right now. I want to watch you all read it.
I'm going to start my 26th book.
I DNF'd No Exit, but I kept it because Ashley loved it so much. And so I'm like, one of these times I'm going to give it a second shot because Ashley loves it so much. And I read it and just loved it. It was so easy to binge. So now I'm like, No Exit? What?
I know she said that, and I was like, "Sign me up."
Do it.
I'm gonna add it to my Goodreads right now.
The Missing by Kirsten Modglin. I'm so insecure about the way I say this now that everyone's been
Not
changing it
fair
up. Mod.
I think that's the book for Thrilled Till the Weekend, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That audiobook is on Script.
Yeah.
It is.
So I am planning on reading it.
I'm excited to read that one.
Sorry, Denise. 80 pages in. Cool.
Wait,
we'll keep
who
you
is The
posted.
Island by Adrian McKinty?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is that a
There's
new
like
release?
a bunch of romances called The Island. So I'm like,
Yeah, it came out this
covers
past
don't look
Tuesday.
right.
Okay.
All right.
3 book club reads left for the month. Hopefully I can fit them all in. I do that too every month. Right at the end, I'm like, I want to read everyone's book club pick. I never have time.
Same. I'm so overwhelmed by book clubs. Like I want to read them all, but I also
Same.
want to read a
Same.
lot of things.
Hi, Quinn.
Hi, Quinn.
Just started Whisper Down the Lane for this month's Buzzword read. Are you guys doing Buzzwordathon?
I'm
Ever?
not.
I was
am.
trying to do it.
Yeah.
Are you doing it, Marcy?
Yeah, I am. I didn't read last month's book, and I still haven't read this month's, but I did do January, February, March.
I think I did January, February, March also. And then I fell off and I've stopped doing it. I was trying to read a backlist book for it every time, so it would make me read like old stuff off my shelf with the words. And then there was one month when I only had like 2 options that fit, and I didn't want to read either of them. And then,
Yeah.
Like, never mind. I don't need to do this anymore.
Added stress.
Just so you guys know that Whisper, last time I checked, I don't know if it's still up, but I saw a post from Wryly Sager on Instagram a few weeks ago, and he mentioned Whisper Down the Lane. And at that point, when I checked, it was free on Audible for members. So if anyone's interested, I don't know if it's still free, but it was a few weeks ago.
Thank you for letting me know. I do have that book on my shelves. It's been there for a while.
Love it when you find a free Audible book. Like,
Yes. Let me check now.
not Zac Efron. I didn't know
I
he was
didn't
in
know he was in
Firestarter.
Look at what you started, Carolina.
Seeing me at the movie theater tomorrow. I emailed the publisher and was sent a copy of Acts of Violet. Oh, yay. I hope you like it. I haven't read it yet either, but I really, really love Una Out of Order. I just got The Island on my Kindle to start. Also, The Push was one of my favorites last year. Nice. Using audio is on Hoopla for free and it doesn't skip. Good to know. Important factors here. Name a book that had you spooked even after you finished reading it.
Ooh.
Pretty Girls by Karen Sloan.
I mean,
Very true.
yeah.
Oh, I have
I'm
my
gonna take
answer.
my dog out at night to go to the bathroom because I was like,
I haven't
Yeah.
read that one, so I'm like, damn, now I want to read that.
it messed me
It's
up.
intense.
It's pretty dark for a thriller. I
Marcy,
thought.
you
I
haven't
don't
read
read
Pretty Girls?
thrillers a lot, but
Oh, you'd love it. I feel like you'd love it.
I've heard so many people say that, and every time I hear like the premise of it, I'm like, that sounds right up my alley, but I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet.
you should.
It's the best one of hers that I've read so far.
I
It's
haven't
my
read any of
favorite
hers.
thriller, but it's pretty dark.
One that scared me, and not like spooked in like a haunty way, but when I read, actually, I was gonna say The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum, because that one is based on a true story, and so it's just like cringe. It's like bad vibes. It's really, really messed up. But I just finished Misery last week, and I don't know. I've seen the movie and loved it, but I don't know, that book like almost put me into like a deep, dark depression because it was so hopeless, and it lingered with me for like days. Like I feel like I can talk about it now, but like I can get past it now. But that book, I did not expect it to affect me like that.
Wow.
It really messed me up.
Wow, I haven't read that one yet. But that's interesting that it really hit you like that. I mean, I can imagine with what the concept of the book is, it would be pretty hopeless.
It's heavy. It's really heavy. A lot of, I don't know. I feel like I'm also in a sensitive phase. Like sometimes I'm just like more sensitive to horror and
Yeah.
to things that trigger me. And I think I'm in one of those phases right now. So that could be part of the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, true
Mhm.
crime book. That has ruined me for life.
I bet.
Like,
That's a rough one.
ruined for life. Yeah.
I just read that one this year, and I remember, like, we live in a pretty, like, safe neighborhood, place, area, whatever you want to call it, but we don't, like, lock our door when we're home. And I was reading that, and I was like, deadbolt!
Yes.
Yeah, like ad locks.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like,
When I read that one, I was
locking this even when we're home.
Yeah. When I was in Texas, it was a pretty safe area as well. And, locked doors, no. And after reading that, I'm like, listen, we're not even leaving a latch open on a window, even if it's on the second floor. No. For me, it would have to be
paranoia.
Yeah. For me, it would have to be a true crime book as well, which is kind of weird because like horror books don't scare me, but this one true crime book like really fucked me up, and it was American Predator. I don't know why, because it's not even, I think that I'll Be Gone in the Dark is worse than American Predator, but American Predator just got under my skin. And like just watching the videos that's about that killer, I am just like, it just gives me goosebumps and chills, and no thank you.
What is that like story about?
It is, I can't remember the exact guy, but it was almost like one of these he left like bags all around different states and stuff, like to be ready to kill somebody. Like one day he did a couple, and he just had like secret stashes all over the United States where he would just go get his stash. And like is somebody listening to me, Elizabeth? I don't want to say too much, and like your little girl is there.
No.
And I'm like, oh, he's killing us.
That was a very good thought.
Okay, I was like, oops.
I know you're talking. Is it Israel Keys?
You know what? It sounds like it. Let me grab the book. I don't know.
I know that's something that he did, and that's why he was a trucker, and he would go cross state lines and have stashes waiting for him.
I think so. Where is
Any
the
kind
book?
of, I feel like that's what makes it so creepy. And that was how I felt with I'll Be Gone in the Dark too, is the premeditation and the planning and the extent that they go to prepare to kill, and like how deeply you have to think about that to be that prepared is so terrifying.
It's crazy.
I haven't read I'll Be Gone in the Dark, but I've seen the movie, and I used to listen to a lot of My Favorite Murder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know a lot. They were connected to Michelle, and so they talked about her a lot on their podcast and stuff. So I know the Golden State Killer pretty well, or the story of it anyway. And it's definitely terrifying and smart, though. Like the way he would pile dishes on their backs, and so if he heard them move, they would fall if they moved, and he would hear it, and he would threaten to kill their loved ones and stuff. Like would
go and feed the dogs in the yard prior so that they wouldn't bark when he comes. Yeah. Terrifying.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, no, I'm getting freaked out right now.
I know. So there you go, Mia. If you want to be traumatized, there's a couple books for you.
It's so much scarier when it's true. Yes. Like any horror movie you watch that says like based on a true story, even if it's not like true to the story that happened. Like what was the one, Ashley, that was for Thrill Till the Weekend with Amanda Seyfried?
Oh,
that one was like based on a true story. I don't know what that movie
was called.
It was really bad.
It was so bad.
None of us liked it. We just trashed it in the Discord. But it says like based on a true story, and it's like so loosely based on that story. But it's like anytime it says that, it's so much more like chilling.
Yeah, everybody's saying it's Keys. Sorry.
Also, final question before we go into our first reading sprint of the evening.
Yes, it is from Crystal's shop.
Got to get that plug. All right. I'm going to pull up reading sprints, 30 minutes. Sound good to everybody?
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right. See you all in 30.
that alert was fun.
Yeah, I like that heart. It's nice and calm.
I'm gonna color.
All right, you can color.
How did everyone's reading go? Let us know in the chat what you're reading, how much you read, how it was going for you. Hannah, did you finish your book yet?
I didn't. I'm about 15 pages from the end.
Oh, it's so good.
I kept needing to look up to see your reaction if you finished the book.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting there. I'll finish it in the next sprint.
Is that supposed to be a series or is it a standalone?
It's a series. The next book comes out in October.
Oh.
And is that the republished one that you're reading that Tor picked up? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I have an audiobook of that from Libro, but I got it a long time ago. But I assume it's the
Yeah, I have that
version.
one too. Did you get it from the ALC program?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I have too.
Okay. Is the audio good? Have you done it?
Yeah, it's good.
Elizabeth, how'd your reading go?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm still trying to get back into it a little bit. One thing I really am loving about this though is that this guy that's being executed, he has this manifesto that he's writing, and he really wants to get it out there because he's desperate to have part of him stay behind. But this theory, he's calling it a theory, is basically a theory that I've been prescribing to for years now. And so it's really, I feel like it's meant for me to read this, not in a woo-woo way, but it's just, I feel like it's just very coincidental because it's basically, this theory is has to do with good and evil and the fluidity of it. And basically the book's not about the multiverse, but it does mention that within it, and how in each version of the world you may have made a different decision, and each version of yourself ends up somewhere else along that line. And so because of that, and because of the decisions we make every day, the idea is that everyone is somewhere in between good and evil. There's no pure good and no pure evil. And I swear I talk about this all the time. So it's just so weird for me to pick this up and read that, because I completely 100% am on board with that theory. So.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
Love that theory.
That reminded me too of, probably is nothing like it, but the Book of Accidents, just thinking about the multiverse and good and evil and variations of yourself.
Yeah. I read 3 books recently with not the exact multiverse trope, but the sliding doors trope. And I vlogged it, and I hate the vlog.
I can relate.
I'm still trying to decide if I even want to post it. I'm I don't know if I want it, because I'm just rambling, and I know how I get when I don't shut up and I get really too in depth and try to overanalyze, and I'm editing it.
I think that's good. I like that.
I'm editing it and I'm this is so boring. I just want to delete this right now.
You know, what I've learned is that you might see it boring and not like it, but there's going to be somebody out there that is going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think too, that brings the unique content about the books and the discussion, instead of just, I liked it or I didn't like it. I feel sometimes I'll film videos and not really like any of the books. And then I'm well, now I've got to scrap it, because who wants to watch me read 3 books and hate them all?
I don't mind that, actually. If I'm watching vlogs, I don't mind it if they like it or not. It for me, it's about I want to know what that person thought about it. And based on what I know about what I like and that person likes, then I can gauge how I'm going to move forward. So really, it doesn't matter to me if the booktuber enjoyed it or not. It just it's more insight into whether or not I want to pick it up.
Yeah, and the experience,
Yeah, I just get so self-conscious. I'm people are going to be oh, Ashley just hates all these books again. Marcy, how'd your reading go?
It went well. I'm in the middle of this intense part. I think I got 20 pages read in this because I was trying to get things ready for my diamond painting. And so I only got 20 pages, but like it's getting to a really good part, you know, like the world is coming to an end and you have those crazies, and now him and his daughter are like amidst some of these crazy people, and he's trying to find a way out before they kill him.
Yikes.
I know.
What's your painting, your diamond painting that you're doing
Oh,
today?
I'm doing, oh my gosh, she's so cute. It's really big, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it on here, but it's called Tea, Llama, and Books.
Oh my goodness.
That's cute.
And so I just
I
have this
love the
little like
colors.
top portion, but she looks like me with the big teeth and the books.
I'm always so impressed by that because, like, the one time I did diamond painting, I probably did like this much of it. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. It's
You
too
gotta
hard.
have patience, and like when I'm listening to an audiobook, I could just like, you know, lose myself. But yeah, you gotta have patience.
I don't understand what it is. What you like make
So it's
a tapestry? It's all made of diamonds?
yeah, so it's a canvas, and then in the canvas it has like, where's the camera? Okay, here it is. It has like little symbols and stuff, and then they give you like little drills, like little diamonds according to the symbols, and you just paste them and it makes the picture.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a glue kind of surface.
Yeah.
So they just stick.
And then you just stick the little diamonds on there.
Wow, I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm a little obsessed.
I love stuff like that. Like to like while you're listening.
Yeah.
I go through sprints like I've got the coloring book situation going on now, which I was doing, but she wants to color, so I'm gonna let her use it. But I've been through like phases of like embroidery and stuff like that too while I'm listening. So
Yeah.
I can see why you would like something like that. Sometimes the tedium is
Yes.
nice when you're listening to a book.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I do a lot of video games and stuff, but there comes a point where you're like, you get tired of those things. So you just want something new to entertain you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I read like probably 10 pages of this, and I don't think I can go on. I think I'm gonna need an
Ashley
audio.
just hates everything.
I just hate everything. I'm just the freaking worst. I just feel like I need an audiobook because it's so dense, and I just need to hear someone read it to me really quickly and just glaze over a lot of it, because reading every single detail. This is like the point of the story is it's supposed to be about this family, this rich family who had triplets. So there's 3 kids, and then once the kids grow up and go off to college, the mom's afraid of being alone, and so there's a latecomer who comes in, and I don't know, the triplets were born through IVF, which is why these are like test tubes.
Okay.
I don't know if the latecomer is, I'm trying to like point, this is so confusing. I don't know if the latecomer is like another IVF child or someone who's not a biological child, or if they even explain that, but that's the whole kind of idea of it, is like something crazy happens when the latecomer comes into the family and it shakes up their family. But the story starts in like 1960s when the parents meet, 1972 when the parents meet for the first time. So part 1 is 1972 to 2001, and that's the first 100 pages of the book before you even get to the triplets and the story. Mm-hmm. So it's just like a slog right now to get through. But I'm vlogging it, and so I don't know what to do.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Of course you are.
It's like the last book I was reading for this vlog. I'm doing a thriller arcs vlog, like reading early thrillers.
Did you like the other ones? No spoilers if you don't want to say. You don't have to say like.
One was good and one was not.
Okay.
And so I really needed at least an okay book, but this is going to be a DNF right now until I get an audiobook. I'm like, I can't end the video with just like, sorry guys, I read 26 pages and hated it. So
And when did it come out?
I think it comes out at the end of May. Yeah, May 31st.
Oh.
But I have other books I could read. Like I have The Woman in the Library, which I know you read that one, Elizabeth.
I liked
that.
That.
So I might do that. Might do a swap through.
You might like that one, Ashley. It's super cool and meta. I loved it. And I did not guess the killer.
Oh, good.
So that's a plus in my book.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm going to have to. I don't see any foreseeable future with this book until an audiobook comes out. Kim read 166 pages of a graphic novel. I also
Nice.
thought about picking up Heartstopper Volume 3 instead, but that's not a thriller arc, so can't do that. 30 pages into Book Lovers, my first Emily Henry. I hope you love it. Yeah, this is about the island. It is really uncomfortable. It's so tense.
Oh my
I was getting
gosh.
physical anxiety reading the book. It is so
I need
intense.
to start it. I need to start it.
I got it. I'm gonna have to get it. I've been convinced. You say it's uncomfortable. That's like, yes. Yep. Are you trying to romance me?
It's working.
It's working.
Reading Confessions. Hi, Ariane, for the Literally Dead Book Club. That's another one that I want to read. I ordered that actually like 2 weeks ago off Amazon, and then it just never came, and they said it got lost, and I had to get a refund. So I'm like, I feel like that's a sign I shouldn't read it.
No. I read that one. I listened to the audio, and I think that's one that might be better physically. Confessions.
Where did you listen to the audio? Was that on Audible?
I don't remember. I think I may have gotten it from my library.
Yeah, I was like trying to find it on Scribd, but it wasn't there. Loving Book Lovers. I'm happy. Reading Jar of Hearts and absolutely obsessed.
Oh, yes.
I haven't read any Jennifer Hillier yet.
Oh, I love her. I haven't read anything of hers that I didn't like yet.
Have you read her new book out yet? The Things We Do in the Dark. I don't think it's out yet, actually.
It's not out yet.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'm like having major FOMO with everybody that's getting arcs.
I have an e-arc of that one.
Every time you got an arc of Hyde, didn't you, Ashley?
No, I wish.
I got that one too.
I've seen
Hyde. Marcy.
Everyone's been getting an arc.
I'm seeing people with all of the arcs that I want, and I'm just over here like, ah.
I know. I feel like everyone this week got Hyde, and I'm like, why didn't I request that? I'm so excited for that.
I did request it, but I'm not cool enough. I'm not in the cool kids club.
Oh, I got that one. I didn't even request it, and they just emailed me, and it was like a long time ago. And I'm thinking the book came out, already, and it hasn't even come out yet. I'm like, oh, I'm still on time. I don't know if I'll get to it.
Rub it in, Marcy.
I think it comes
I'm
out.
so sorry.
No,
yeah, arcs are so hit or miss. Like you never know what you're gonna get, and then you get things you don't even ask for. And you're like,
yeah,
great, thanks. Read an article in a creative nonfiction magazine. That sounds fun. Joined the sprint late, but read about 25 pages. Book Lovers and enjoying it so far. Everyone's reading Book Lovers.
I know.
Such a cute book.
This was directed at you, Elizabeth, I believe.
I responded. I saw that. Yeah, I actually do have the audio for Book Lovers, but I'm just reticent to get into another romance after my last romance reading blog kind of jaded me.
I just feel like you can't go wrong with Emily Henry. I think you're safe.
Henry. I've read things. What is the vacation one?
People We Meet on Vacation. Yeah.
I really liked that one. And I started Beach Read, but I never finished it. But I really did like People We Meet on Vacation. But Friends to Lovers, if I had to pick a favorite romance trope, would be my favorite. So like that one felt like it was suited to me, So I'm a little nervous, but it might be time especially after Misery and being in like a weird icky place. Maybe I should pick up a romance.
Something light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the Heartstopper show. I hadn't read the graphic novels yet, but I watched the show, and that just softened my heart so much. And then I bought all of them, so I've read the first two now. I have the other two to go.
I have to read those. I haven't read them yet. I didn't even know there was a show.
Oh my god!
It just came out on Netflix. It's so good.
Really?
It's so good.
It's one of the best adaptations too that I've ever seen. Like there are literally frames from the comic or from the graphic novels that are the exact same.
The exact framing of the shot. Yeah.
Conversations are word for word exactly the same. And I'm just like, it just makes my book lover heart so happy.
I did not get the hype. And I have not read the graphic novels, but like I didn't understand the hype for Heartstopper. And then I turned on the show and I'm just done. Sold, melted
It's
puddle.
just
Like,
so
They're
soft,
so
so
wholesome.
sweet.
the
So
whole
good.
time I'm just like
Are you planning on reading the graphic novel now,
So
or
cute.
no?
Yeah, I have it on hold at the library, so
Okay.
then I'll read
They're
it.
so quick too. You can read them in like an hour.
Yeah, they go by really fast.
I'm gonna have to go book shopping tomorrow. What a shame.
Darn.
Darn.
I did although I watched a movie the other day. What was it called? It's also an adaptation, which I have not read the book, but it was called it was on Netflix, called The Guernsey Island Potato Pie Peel Club or something like
What?
that.
Society.
I actually know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
just cannot remember what the words.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's an adaptation, and it was so good. And it was
Oh, really?
historical World War II, and I hate that stuff.
Oh, I hate that.
Loved it. It's a lot of the actors are from Downton Abbey, so I was already like sucked in.
Oh.
And Game of Thrones.
Oh,
But the kid that's in Heartstopper that plays what is Charlie and what's the other one?
Nick.
That plays Nick. He's in that movie as like a 10-year-old, and he's
Oh.
so cute. And I was like, oh, that's the guy from Heartstopper. I was just like, he's so cute. I loved it though. It was really, I cried. I bawled my eyes out. It was really good. It's like a romance, I think, but
oh.
very good.
I wasn't a fan of the plot, but I'm interested in your vlog if we ever see it.
I
You'll see it.
suppose
And I just
I'll
have a sad ending.
I'll do it.
DNF books in my vlogs all the time. I don't feel bad DNFing a book in general in a vlog, but I don't want it to be the last book of the vlog is a DNF. I feel like that's just like a sad note to end on.
I think you should do it, and then your emoji can be the broken heart emoji.
Wow, that's true. And it's less work for me, less reading that I have.
But I mean, if you,
for
how many
enjoying the
pages
book.
did you read from the book?
Like 25.
And so that's, I think that's great because like you could just say, okay, I want to read this one, and then like insert another one because it's not like you're spending that much time on the book.
Yeah, it'll be super quick.
Yeah.
We'll see. Ooh, really?
Okay.
I like the second one the best.
Yeah, I did enjoy the second one. I just feel so biased after watching the show first that the graphic novels are just like bonus for me in a way. It just feels kind of like reading the script. It's hard to attach to them as much as I am to the show.
And they just, I don't know if you saw, Ashley, they just renewed it for 2 more seasons.
I did, yeah.
So that's awesome.
I love the little graphic they have of it too, where Charlie's like,
I love it.
have any of you read Frida McFadden?
Mm-mm.
No,
I had never heard of, I don't know if it's a woman or a man.
I don't know who that is. I would assume Frida is a woman.
I think it's she, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. There's been plenty times where I'm like, oh,
That's true.
she, and
That's
it's
true,
a,
yeah.
I'm like, oops.
Yeah, I had someone recommended a couple of Frida McFadden books to me once. I was like asking for recommendations, and someone just commented and gave like 2 Frida McFaddens. I'd never heard of Frida McFadden, and then I think I saw Beth read something from Frida McFadden. I don't remember if she liked it or not. Beth from Beth's All Booked. But then I saw terrible reviews of Frida McFadden books, so then I didn't know what to do. So I'm waiting to hear more to convince me if I should try them out.
Okay. I'll have to look into that. I've never heard of her.
Yeah.
Confessions is so good. Jar of Hearts is so good too.
I love Jar of Hearts too.
Book lovers for something light after reading several thrillers and horror books in a row need a break. Yeah,
I get it.
I feel that.
Yeah.
These comments keep jumping on me. Yes, what a good birthday gift.
It's so wholesome.
I thought about that when I said that too. I was like, well, what if I just took the clips and made it seem like I read this book in the middle and then read another book?
That
Oh,
seems
here we
like
go.
a lot of work. Oh, there we go. That is it. Thank
Guernsey
you.
Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society.
I never heard of that.
Super cute.
Yeah.
She had to look at that. peanut pie and table.
Reading My Summer Darlings. I don't think that one's. Oh no, that is out. I think it came out
Is it?
in May, sometime in
It
May,
just come out.
because people were
think
upset
that's
that it
really-
wasn't a book of the month pick.
I think that came out on the 17th. I haven't read either one of those, but the Hunting Wives I'm interested in, especially because it's set in Texas. But I think I might hate everybody too much in that book.
I think you
You
will.
definitely hate everybody. There's no likable characters.
Yeah.
I don't need a
No.
likable character though, but I need like some kind of depth.
Listen, when we are
Yeah.
on a scene and they're explaining to me the steps that she's taking to make the salsa, I don't like, I'm done. Like, I get it. I know how to make salsa. I don't need to know where everybody was standing and how to make it. It was like very, it was very descriptive and like, it was like too much, you know, but I enjoyed the overall story, but it was just a little too much at times.
Okay.
Yeah, I read it. I think I read it on the beach. So it was kind of like, you know, when you read a thriller on the beach, you're not taking it too seriously. You're having a good time. But after reading it and sitting it down, so much of the book is about like grown women sleeping with like either teenage boys or they're like 18. You know, like I don't know if they're
But
legal,
still
but
in
they're
high
real
school.
close.
Yeah.
They are young boys. And these are like women in their 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it sounds like My Summer Darlings is going to be kind of similar, like raunchy.
Mm.
I don't know. So I'm going to wait on some reviews there.
Yes, I do. Oh my gosh, I'm watching what Gwen said all the way at the bottom, and I always bring it up.
You've been scarred, holding a grudge.
Yeah.
I'm going to write Maycob a letter. I know how to make salsa.
Luckily.
Oh, man.
Hated The Hunting Wives with a passion. Yeah, Gwen doesn't think you'll like it either, Elizabeth.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't need to pick it up then. I'm convinced to let it go.
Audio is well done, but it's just housewife drama, nothing exciting.
Okay.
It was just okay. Yeah.
You know what? That's how I felt about I think it's the newest A.R. Torre. The one with the like
I don't know
water
which
on
one's
the cover.
next.
Oh no,
Yeah.
what's it called? It was basically like these two women. It was like a super rich lady and then the lady who like wants to steal her life, but it was so shallow and so like it drove
Every
me.
Last Secret.
What did you say?
Every Last Secret.
Yes, that
Yeah.
one. That's exactly how I felt about that book. I was just like, oh, this is just so annoying. Just annoying rich people trying to get richer and just bickering back and forth. It was. I did not like that one.
Yeah, it's really hit or miss for me when characters suck. If I love to hate them or if I hate to hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it either ruins the book for me or it makes it really good and unique. Because I'm like, ooh, great. Characters I can hate. This is fun.
Have you guys heard of A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I bought it because of you and
You
Kat.
did say that. Okay, I'm on a mission to convince everybody to read this book. So I might as well take this opportunity to pitch it.
Platform.
I'm dying to read it, so go ahead.
It doesn't take much to pitch. It's a female serial killer who is also a cannibal, who is also a food critic. Like
Sold.
That's really all you need.
All I need to know.
It's not plot heavy. It's not like super twisty, but it's very character driven. And she is a character that you hate to love. Like she is a POS as a human being. But like, if you do not finish that book, and if you are not obsessed with Dorothy Daniels when you finish that book, then you're too good for me. Because I love her.
Yeah, I've had that one on my TBR. Adding to cart, yep.
I see
Because
Matthew.
I love the cover so much. It is so inviting to me. And I haven't bought it yet. But now that you said all of that, I was going solely based on the cover. But now hearing that, I'm sold.
It was originally just picked up by Audible, and it was an Audible original. And then it got I don't know how it works in publishing, but it got sold to a publishing company, and then they put it out in print. And the book cover in print is gorgeous, but
Stunning.
the Audible cover is I don't like. and I don't think it's very attractive or alluring. But the actual book cover that came out is beautiful.
Stunning.
It's A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers.
Do you have a comparison, Elizabeth?
Oh, goodness. It's very much a good for her, kind of one of those good for her books. So I would compare it to like They Never Learn, if you've read that, or maybe, oh, I can't think of another one right now. My lovely friend Craig over at Shelf Possessed made me a whole list of books that are like good for her thriller and horror books that I will reshare it on my Insta later if y'all are interested. But it's got all kinds of books that are kind of that similar vein. So if you guys are interested, check that out. But yeah, like if you like that like good for her thriller horror type of vibe, then you probably like it.
After I read the Mindfuck series, that's like all I wanted to read was those like good for her, like just take down everyone that wrongs you.
Include that in that.
I would, but see, like you said, cannibalism, and I'm like, I'm out.
Oh, really?
I can't do it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna check out this list of good for hers though, because like I love those kinds of books.
Yeah.
I was on like looking for those kind of revenge stories. But yeah, cannibalism is like a hard pass for me.
That's like a draw for me.
Me too.
Yeah, me and Marcy are like, yes, sold. And Hannah's like, absolutely not.
Like, I read Tender as the Flesh.
Oh, I love
And
that.
that's like straight cannibalism, the entire book. And I think it scarred me forever.
I can understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the Wrong Turn movies.
Intense.
I just
enjoy that
nauseous even. I can't believe I brought it up.
I used to love those movies. Oh my gosh.
Oh, God. Literally, I watched them like over a decade ago, and I still have nightmares.
Wait, which movies?
The Wrong Turn movies.
Oh, I don't think I've seen those.
Maybe you should.
I guess there's cannibalism
Oh,
involved.
There's
Yeah,
big time.
It's an
Okay.
older movie series, but it's pretty interesting. It was one of my favorites when I was young.
Yes, I will, Kim. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll put it on the community tab.
Mm.
I'll do that on our next sprint.
Speaking of next sprint,
Gonna be
I feel like
all
it's
night.
time.
All night long.
24-hour readathon. No, but we'll probably be live for at least another like hour or so. Yeah, let's start another sprint. I am gonna have to go find my iPad so I can read The Woman in the Library and start that. See how it goes.
Yay.
Gonna finish my book.
All right, see you guys in 30.
See ya.
That scared me.
Really absorbed in the book.
He's over here. Okay, bud.
How'd everyone's reading go?
I finished.
Ah!
Was it good?
I really liked it.
Good.
Have any of you seen The Umbrella Academy?
Yes.
I saw the first
Kinda
episode.
Reminds me of that, like a little bit.
Okay, you just sold me because I loved The Umbrella Academy,
It's so good.
which I think that's based off of a graphic novel too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
Umbrella
so, yeah.
Academy. I hadn't. All I know of Atlas 6 is I think Kayla read it and did not like it. Is that accurate, or am I remembering?
I don't know.
I think she might have read the original when it was independently published before it was rewritten by Tor. Published by Tor. But I'm actually not sure. But I do remember she didn't like it.
I think I heard about it through either Chelsea Palmer or one of those, or maybe it was Bree, but it was like when it was independently published, and I've been wanting to read it since then, and I have that edition of it, and I've heard that there's like differences, so I want to see what the differences are.
Yeah, I would be curious to know what the differences are. My friend Rachel she read the self-published one, and now we're buddy reading it, so she's reading the newly published one.
Nice.
But I don't know what the differences are, but I really liked it. I really liked the writing style. It's kind of got that like little bit of pretentiousness to it that I find enjoyable.
I like that too.
Yeah. It was good.
So is it a fantasy? What is the genre?
It's kind of fantasy because there is like magical aspects to it, but it's like dark academia with magic. So it's like these 6, like they're called Medians in this. They're kind of like magicians. They all have different like abilities that they have, and they get recruited into this like secret society, and it's really good.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
You guys compared it to Now You See Me as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know that one either.
I feel like it's like a mashup of like a lot of different things, but it's also so unique. Like I did like a little baby Goodreads review after I finished it, waiting for the sprint to finish. And I said it's like The Umbrella Academy meets Middle Game meets The Ninth House by Lee Bardugo.
Okay.
It's kind of like, but it's also like taking a little bit from each of those and like making it its own thing.
Hmm.
Do you think it's better than all of those?
Not better.
Okay.
I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. I don't know.
Are you thinking of Ninth House when you asked that question, Ashley?
Yeah.
I didn't love
I
Ninth
really liked Ninth House though.
House, but I
DNF
did like
that.
Middle Game.
I would say it's more like Middle Game than it is like Ninth House.
Okay.
I think the Ninth House aspect is more like the secret society kind of thing, and like the kind of overarching doom that this book kind of has.
Okay. I reposted your Instagram, and my best friend, who's not in the book community, but she is a reader. She thought that was me, that was what I was reading, and she was like, "Oh, I can't wait to read this! I'm so excited!" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not reading that. That's someone else is reading that." She's like, "Oh, well, I still want to read it. It looks really good." Like, apparently, she looked it up. I'm still like kind of confused on this book that I'm reading, on Notes on an Execution. I don't know how I'm feeling, really. There is an element of mystery that's happening. They keep mentioning this house, the blue house, and it feels like everything is kind of coming to a point that's going to make sense once we get there. But I don't know how that connects right now. So it's like, I'm confused. I'm following right now the perspective of a detective who actually grew up in the foster system with the guy who is convicted, who is on death row. And she's the one that is that put him away. And so she kind of has an interesting perspective where she knew him as like a kid.
Wow.
And also as like the detective criminal dynamic. So it's interesting, but I don't know how it's going to all come together just yet. So I haven't really decided how I feel about it.
How far into it are you?
I think I'm like 75%. I'm listening on Scribd. I hate that it doesn't have the exact percentage.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It's not sounding good if you're
It's
not.
not-
sure
I
we are
know if
bringing
you're
this far in.
75% in.
About 75%. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if it all connects. Like I'm at a weird place where like if it all comes together and like connects in a cool way and like does something special about it, then it could be awesome. But so far, I'm not sold yet.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens
Yeah,
next time.
there's still time for it to come together. I obviously read a little bit more of The Night Parade, and I think I got another 20 pages. Like, I'm a slow listener, apparently, but I only have it at 1.6. I usually have it at 2, but it's like one of those books that you just want to like enjoy. And since it is like apocalyptic, you want to really like pay attention, but really liking it. I mean, I can't say much at 200 pages in and with the type of book that it is, but it's slow, but then there's like moments of intensity that have you like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But it's good.
Good. I started The Woman in the Library on ebook, so I have nothing to hold up for myself, but I'm really liking it so far. I like the writing style. I was messaging Elizabeth and I was like, what the heck am I reading right now? Like, I don't understand this part because it is so meta. And you're reading like someone writing a story and then letters about the story at the same time. And there's a character whose name overlaps. And I'm like, what is going on here? I do not have the brain cells for this right now, but I like the writing style of it. It's like a little quirky and it feels a little like classic murder mystery a little bit. So I like it.
It definitely takes some brain power. Like, and I felt that too when I was reading it. I was glad that I actually read it physically, and I was glad that I did, because I feel like if I had read that audibly, I would have lost it. I would have like fluttered off somewhere. Yeah. But once you get like, because at the beginning you get their impression of them, you don't get their actual names, so you have to connect all of their names to like the impressions, and then also the characters within that story are also authors and are writing their own stories. So it's really a book within a book within a book.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, but once it sinks in, it makes sense. I promise it makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know if I just like didn't read the synopsis closely enough when I first heard about this book, but this is not what I thought it was going to be at all. Like I knew when you were talking about it, and I think you did it in a video sometime or else your Instagram stories or something, that it was meta and like book within a book because you talked about that. But before that, I was like, I for sure thought this was like a locked room, murder mystery in a library. You're following 4 characters, super simple. Someone did it. Who done it? Kind of thing.
Same. I thought it was a locked room mystery too, and it's not at all. Like that first chapter is in the Boston Public Library, and
they immediately leave the room, and I was like, "Where are we going?"
Then they're just in the world. It's not locked room in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's just like a woman screamed, and then the cops came over, and 5 minutes later they said, "You can leave now."
Yeah, they just disregard it.
I also grabbed this off my shelves, A Certain Hunger, Chelsea G. Summers, so that people could see it. This is the book Elizabeth was talking about. It is very stunning. I love the cover of this.
You know what? I just saw the Audible one, and I was kind of sad because, you know, sometimes when they do like Audible exclusive, sometimes they're part of the free library. But no, you have to use your credit. But seeing the print copy, like the print cover, it's stunning. But if I would have never seen this one, that audiobook cover is kind of killer as well.
It is.
It's like
it gives such a different vibe.
Yeah, it's like 80s. Like I can't describe it.
80s is very much like, okay, so if you guys are not subscribed to Craig and David at Shelf Possessed, they actually did an interview with the author, with Chelsea G. Summers. And She said, I watched the interview, and she said that when she was originally trying to get it published, that they didn't like it because they said the voice of the character was too 80s. So it's funny that you said that it looks 80s to you.
It has a very 80s vibe to it.
Right? It does. Look at it. It's
Yeah.
like, but it's almost like Michael McDowell kind of cover.
I kind of like that cover more.
Yeah.
It gives such different vibes of it.
Yeah.
I love them both.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
I like the red hair, like the crazy red hair.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I thought that was fire.
I didn't know that was hair either. I thought it was just styling in the background. I was like, yeah, the hair.
This cover,
totally.
this cover was done by a friend of the author as well.
I love it.
I like it.
But yeah, the print one gives me more gothic kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And then this one gives me more 80s, maybe slasher, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, I totally get that.
I can see that.
Look at that cover, makes me want to read it now, but I'm like,
I
no.
know.
I mean, okay, so I would she describes there's some sex scenes in here too, and the reason that I love Dorothy Daniels is because she's so sure of herself and she's so confident in her sexuality. So there are some sex scenes in here, but she describes sex the way that Nick Cutter describes like fungus. You know what I mean? Or like worms. She describes sex the way Nick Cutter describes worms. So if that means anything to you, like,
cool.
You're
Hannah,
even selling me even harder.
Hannah, something tells me you haven't read the troop.
I haven't. No, I actually do want to, but I just haven't yet.
It's disgusting, but it's really good.
I know. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Like when I'm in a horror mood, that's probably the first one that I'll pick up.
It's a good like classic. It's newer, but it's like a classic, a modern
Horror
classic.
moods don't come to me very often, so who knows when that'll be.
Maybe October.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Has anyone read The Deep by Nick Cutter?
No, I'm interested though, but I've heard mixed reviews.
I went on a whole tirade last night on Book Talk of trying to find horror books that people recommend a lot on TikTok because, you know, I do those like TikTok made me read it, and I typically read like a romance that I end up hating. So I was trying to find some like
Ashley hates everything.
some thrillers or horror books, like something that's a little bit more up my alley to try. I have sometimes like the romances that I find from TikTok, but The Deep was one that I saw come up a lot as a common recommendation. And then the rest were like disturbing, more gross things. That one might be gross too, but I don't think it's supposed to be that gross.
I've been wanting to read that one, but I want to read it during the summer. So maybe we can like read it in the summer.
Yeah, let's do a little buddy read.
Yeah, let's do a buddy read because that's been on my shelves for a really long time.
Does that have to do with like mermaids or sirens or something like that?
I think so. It's something underwater.
Yeah, I think it's something like something killer underwater or bacteria. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm getting it mixed up with Into the Drowning Deep.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
That one.
I thought it might be mermaids too. So
that's another one that I want to read.
You haven't read the prequel nor the novel. Okay, can I make a suggestion? Because I read the prequel first. It's literally like 100 pages, and you can only find it as an ebook because the print copies have been discontinued long time ago. Okay. And I read that one in one sitting, and it was so good that when I went into the Drowning Deep, I really enjoyed that one. It gave me the same vibes, but I felt like the prequel at a shorter length gave more creeps than this whole ass novel, but it was still good. I still recommend both. But I feel like if you read Into the Drowning Deep first and then the prequel will leave you like kind of like, okay, it's the same thing kind of deal.
So you think you should read the prequel first?
Yes, read the prequel first because I think you'll really enjoy it, and it actually gives you more in depth as to what the actual first book of the story is, because in the Into the Drowning Deep, you're going in because that first expedition sort of failed, and the sister of one of the people that was on the expedition is looking for answers. So she decides to go on the second expedition to look for answers. So there's a lot of talk of that first expedition in the book.
And that is Mira Grant, right?
Yeah.
Who is also
Shauna McGuire.
Yeah.
And I really love Shauna McGuire's books. I haven't read anything under Mira Grant, though, I don't think.
She has a lot of zombie books. Like she wrote The Feed, that Feed trilogy. And I liked that one. It was okay. It was kind of like, I like The Walking Dead better in a sense. And then I read a short story collection that it's a companion to the Feed trilogy. And I like her writing. I think it's pretty cool.
Jesse
Yeah,
said
when I read,
to change your channel name to Ashley Hates Everything.
Oh, no.
pretty catchy.
It's pretty catchy.
Oh, shots fired.
It does have a nice little ring to it.
It does.
That's so funny.
I do like books sometimes. Okay.
It's just funny that you were like, I hate doing vlogs where I like end up hating a book, and then we keep bringing up these instances where you didn't like these books.
Well, I was about to say in this conversation that I read Into the Drowning Deep and I DNF'd it halfway through.
I feel like
But I liked it. I liked it though. It was just, it's really dense and richly written, and I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time. So I got like halfway through, and then I was like, I don't know if I want to do like the rest of the 200 pages right now. And also, when I read that, I didn't look into it enough, and I kind of thought that it was going to be what the prequel is, where it's that first expedition. And so I think I would actually really like reading the prequel either instead, or at least like go back first and then decide if I want to continue to reread the rest of the book.
feel like a shorter, more condensed version. I think Ashley, you and I have that in common, where we like really like to the point, short horror that like hits and quits. You know?
Yeah.
And with the second book, it has a couple of good creepy scenes in it, but I feel like the first one just delivers so much more. And I just love the name Rolling in the Deep. I mean, let's be Adele here, and you know.
Yeah, it's perfect. I am like 5 years behind on comments, so I'm gonna speed roll through and catch up. Skincare routine.
Skincare is important.
It's everything. I have a friend who I was very stingent on. You have to wash your face all the time before you go to bed, because you know you go out, you get tired, and you're like, oh, it's fine, I'll do it tomorrow. And she said she'll like hear my voice in the back of her head now if she's really tired and not want to do it. She's like, I hear you tell me that I need to wash my face, and it's gonna be worth it.
Yep.
I'm so bad about that.
Oh, it's
tough.
Supposedly it like ages you to sleep with makeup on. I heard that, and I said, listen, at 40, I don't need anything aging me anything. I've always been really into skincare because my mom at a young age had me like putting, you know, lotion and SPF and all of that. So that's like a big part of my life. Huh?
Said it worked because your skin is amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm just like, I'm so bad about any kind of morning or night routine. Like, I am astonished by people who can like get up and have a routine and do the same thing every day. Like I'm struggling to just like do my Peloton every day. Like, and I'm so proud of myself for that.
That's a whole workout.
It is.
I can like, you know, get up and wash my face. I can't get up and do a 30-minute Peloton ride.
I'm trying. It's a commitment.
I want to get the audio so I can know what's going to happen faster. Yeah, it's one of those books where you're like, I just need to know like what is going to happen. I read that book in probably like 2 sittings. Just like read the first half, read the second half, flew through it. Gwen had to go to bed, but she read a lot of her book. If you look at the book you're reading on the save tab on Scribd, it tells you the percentage.
Oh, thank you, Kat. I was wondering about that.
Good tip. Notes on execution was 5 stars for me. It does all come together well, in my opinion.
Oh, good.
Nice.
I've seen so many 5-star reviews of that book. Okay.
A certain hunger is everything. Yeah, I know. Kat has been loving this book. It's like one of her favorites of the year. So I was like, I got to pick it up.
It's Jan's favorite of the year too.
Really?
We were reading on Sprints, and she was telling me all about it, and she like described this one scene, and I was like, oh. Like, you can stop. I might actually have to puke.
Elizabeth, how do you get your hair to look so good?
For
What's
real?
your hair routine?
Thank you. I don't even know. That's it's a process. Don't wash it too much. sometimes I just leave conditioner in my hair and don't even wash it out, to be
That's
honest.
the best for curly hair.
Yeah. And I use Mark Anthony products. It's not that Mark Anthony, a different Mark Anthony. But like, yeah. I don't know. It takes too long.
We've got great skin, great hair. Killing it. Getting some questions. A book that was better as a movie or vice versa?
I always
Most
blank
times
out
the
when
book is better.
When they ask me questions, I'm like, I don't know what to say.
I know I have one because I'm like, this isn't like a thing that a reader should say, but I like getting asked that. I'm like, oh, I've never heard of a movie before ever.
I can say The Neverending Story is better as a movie.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all have seen that movie. I mean, I am a big fan.
Oh, I love it.
And the movie is better.
I can't think of one.
I liked the No Exit movie, but I didn't like it better than the book. I think I liked them pretty evenly, but it was also like years between reading No Exit and watching No Exit. So I had separate experiences with them and I liked them both pretty good. And then also kind of similarly, Gone Girl, I read the book and like, I have absolutely no idea, many, many years ago. And then years later, the movie came out and watched that. And it was just really well done. So I feel like I have separate, equally good experiences.
That's a really good adaptation too. I read it for the first time this year. And then I watched the movie after I read it. And I was like, they're both amazing. They're so good.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the movie first. And I actually just read the book this year because I had seen the movie so many times and loved it. And did not want to get into the book because I was like, I've already seen the movie, you know,
Right.
But I did read the book and I liked the book more. As much as I do love the adaptation, I think it's great. The book goes more into her head. I forget her name right now, but yeah, Amazing Amy. And you get more, like, it's more sinister. So I did like the book more, but they're both amazing.
I hadn't picked it up for so long because I got spoiled for it. So I'm like, what's the point of a thriller if you get spoiled for the big twist? And it's like, this is one of those situations where it's like still good no matter what.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I love Gillian Flynn's writing so much. I need
her to release something new.
Yes,
like, what do we need to do? What room do I need to put you in to get you to sit down and write something new for me?
Yes. I've never read anything by her.
You should read Gone Girl.
Oh, Marcy. Marcy.
Why do I always get those? I'm always like, I haven't read that.
Gillian is iconic.
I know. I own a few of her books. I have never read them. I don't know why.
Start with The Grown Up. It's a novella. It's very short and fast.
Okay.
60 pages. You can read it in an hour.
Yeah.
I'll check that one out. But I have to agree with Denise. Jaws, definitely a better movie. The book was.
I don't know that I've actually even seen the movie. If I have, I was really young.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
But I certainly have not read the book.
And it's not like the movie. I mean, the movie is a cult classic and it's great, whatever. But it's not even a movie that I absolutely love, you know. So with that, I say everything. But the book was so boring, and all they call it is a big fish the whole entire time. And I'm like, listen, no.
Mm-hmm. Dark Places is actually my favorite Gillian Flynn, and that movie adaptation was really good too.
I can't remember that book very well. I remember what the book is about, but I don't remember my experience with it as much as I do with Gone Girl and The Grown Up. I've also read Sharp Objects, but then watching the show, like, I remember that a lot more. But yeah, that was a really good adaptation.
And Amy Adams, anything Amy Adams is in, I'm on board for.
Yep.
And she's in the adaptation for Sharp Objects, so I loved her in that. But Dark Places is my favorite Gillian Flynn, just because I love Libby as a character. And then you have the whole kind of like true crime subplot where like she has this situation with her family where like her family was massacred when she was a kid. And then in current day, she's been living off of like the generosity of people who felt bad for her because her family was murdered when she was like 5 years old. And so she's like 30 years old in current day, and she's running out of money. No one really cares anymore. There's other people that need help. And basically this kid is part of this like true crime club where they try to solve unsolved true crime cases, and approaches her to like give an interview, and they end up working together to look back into the case of her family, because they accused her brother is in jail for it. And some people don't think he's guilty. So that's kind of the synopsis of Dark Places. But the whole true crime thing is really cool because you have this like little like cult following of like people that are like super like true crime nerds, which I love. Anything kind of gives me that like true crime podcast vibe, but not quite.
That sounds interesting.
But
what do we need to do? Do we think if we all come together, we can get her to sit in a room and write a new book? Like, what do we think we need to do to make it happen?
Everybody write a strongly worded letter. Email.
Tweet.
Yeah.
We will Karen the shit out of her until
I will be a Karen for this. I deserve it.
Like, I understand. Like, she's actually, I think last time I checked, she's working. I think she does stuff in television. Like, she works behind the scenes in television stuff.
Oh.
And from what I've heard, she has been working on something for a while. I just have no idea when that's supposed to come out. But I'm like you owe it to the world.
When was the last time she wrote a book?
The Grown Up.
And when was that?
That was the newest one, right?
2012?
I don't know. I think so. 2012 for the Grown Up?
2016? I'm making up numbers. I don't know.
It's been a while.
I read it. Now I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, hi Gabby.
Hi, Gabby.
I saw Kim asked to Marcy, have you read Home Before Dark yet?
Why are you calling me out, Kim? Why?
Hey,
No.
Haunting of Hill House. That adaptation is better than the book.
Yes, that adaptation is a million times better than the book.
Way better.
Answer.
I read the book.
Answer.
I haven't watched the adaptation because it just looks too creepy, and
It's so good.
It's really good.
It is.
It's
It's
pretty
so
good.
good. It's
I probably
literally
won't sleep.
nothing like the
It
book.
gave me
though.
nightmares. It's nothing like the book.
yeah, I can't. I don't like the book. I don't like Shirley Jackson. I don't fare well with her books, so I didn't like the book too much. But there's just some scenes in the trailer for that adaptation that just has me like not wanting to go to the bathroom when I wake up in the middle of the night alone. So
It's so good.
For the sake of your husband getting to sleep throughout the night, you probably shouldn't watch it. But it's really good.
I wake him up. I wake him up to come to the bathroom with me when I'm scared.
Aw. I definitely had nightmares from that too, but I like watched the whole thing through because I binged the whole thing. Like I still had
That's a
nightmares,
lot.
What is
worth
that? What's the scary character? Is it like the thin man or something? The thin woman? The
Bent neck lady.
yes.
Oh, okay, I just got goosebumps. No,
Haunts
no.
me. Haunts me.
I love it.
Yeah, I have an issue with Shirley Jackson's books too. Like I see where like why it's so appreciated and why they're classic, but like they just don't connect with me. I've read in the castle. What is the
We have
always lived in the castle.
And
I haven't read that, but I watched the movie of that one.
I think that one has to be
What's
like
next?
my favorite, and it's still, I still don't like it. But out of all of the ones that I read, that one's the one that I lean more towards. But it's just something that's I don't want to say dull because it's not really dull, but in the sense of connecting with the book, there's something
Kinda
missing
dull.
there. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, dry. That's what I was trying to look
Yeah.
for. It's just kind of dry.
Yeah, it's not as exciting as like newer thrillers and horrors coming out. Like it's definitely a product of its time.
Oh yeah.
I remember reading The Lottery in high school and loving that.
I
But
love that
also,
one.
Like I was in high school, I don't know, but it's a short story. So maybe like for short work is a little more
That's one
engaging.
that I would be open to trying.
That's
too.
one that has like stuck with me too because I read it in high school and that
Yeah.
was like a while ago.
Yeah.
I like that she leans into like the psychological, but it just doesn't connect right for me.
Yeah.
Cat.
Yeah, it's
Just
gonna
ruin
break
her
your
life
heart.
so she can write books.
Yeah, get her off of the TV stuff. Whoever's hiring her, we need her to sit and write. we're gathering a crowd. I feel like if
Yeah.
I start a petition, we can make things happen.
The Karens.
The Karens. Beth from Beth's Out Book mentioned she had gotten contacted about some like secret book that's being released that they asked her to read.
I saw that. Yeah.
I was like, if it's Gillian Flynn, I'm going to come to your house and break in and steal it. I was like, if you get to read the new Gillian Flynn, but I don't think it is, but I was like, oh man, if that's the case, I'm gonna be like so full of rage and jealousy.
Yeah, I had to make myself forget about that because I was like, ooh, I wonder what this book is going to be. I think she said she had to like sign an NDA to not say anything about it. So I'm like, who could be writing a book that's this secretive? Like, is it
intense.
Wryly Sager?
It's probably
Is it
the new Stephen King, because I've heard a couple people that have to sign NDAs for his new book.
That's my guess, is Stephen King. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short story. I know.
I don't really care about that.
It is.
Just being honest. Ashley hates everything. Staying on brand.
It's funny because they say that you hate everything, and they always say that I love everything that I read. So I'm like, we balance each other out. It's okay.
We do.
It's Denver's dinner time.
Yeah. Tim's challenging you, Marcy.
I'll read home, but I promise I'm dying to read it, and it's been on my TBR card. I mean, it's looking at me right now. And so I promise you I will read it. It's the last one that I have to read of his before the new one.
Yeah, I still have to read The Last Time I Lied, but I don't know if I'm going to. Not particularly interested in it.
I like that one. I think that's my favorite one so far from him.
I like that one, and Home Before Dark the best.
Last Time I Lied's the only one I have not finished. I started it, and then I put it down and never picked it back up.
I feel like it's hard to go back to his early stuff.
Huh?
But I feel like it's hard to go back to his early stuff now.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of feel like his stuff's getting worse again lately. I feel like he's on a bell curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. It's like a love-hate with authors that you like or that you have liked in the past. Like, I get so nervous because you want them to stick to like what made it so good, but then as they go on and as they are under more pressure to write faster, like there's something that has to be sacrificed there. And so like as a reader, you're like, please let it be like what I love from you. And sometimes it just isn't. And I saw Lauren from Lauren Love Reads was reading the new Ruth Ware today. And she said on her Instagram that like she was didn't know with her if she just wasn't getting into it. And I was like, do not blaspheme Ruth Ware. Like, I don't want to hear it if you don't like it. I will not allow this to see my consciousness. Like, I refuse. But I hope Ruth Ware isn't going in that direction because I love her books. So it's one of those things.
I mean, it's just hard. Like how I can't pump out a book, period. But like I couldn't do it every year, to have to always have a new idea and then to complete it all in your rush so fast that by the time you're promoting your current book, you're already like trying to finish your next one to get that ahead.
Some authors, like, I don't know if it's just because they're self-publishing, but they like crank them out in like a couple months.
Which is
like Kirsten Moglin.
Yeah, like how
is
are
doing
you
like 3 or 4 a year?
That's so crazy. Like one book in a year is like impressive. I get it when authors have to take even longer than that because like I can't even imagine. But to crank them out in like a couple months, like it's nothing. That's crazy.
I could barely write a sentence. Can you imagine these people?
It's like a 3-page essay cripples me.
That'd be mean.
Yeah. And it's easy for us as readers to be like, oh, that one was this, and that one was that. But like without like actually taking into account everything that goes into it, all of the pressure that they're getting from the publishers, like all of the behind the scenes stuff. And I can only imagine, how it must be to be someone like Wryly Sager or Ruth Ware or somebody that's established and is expected to just repeat that over and over every year. It's gotta be stressful.
I know. I feel so bad as like, you want to be an honest reviewer, and I don't want to lie if I didn't like a book. And I try to be generous, and I don't ever trash a book unless it's like harmful and doing something that I think is problematic on a grand level. But I don't know. It's like, I don't want to give something a 3-star rating if I actually hated it, because I personally didn't like it. And that was my personal experience. And I know other people might. And so I try to point out to, like, I think if you like this or this, then maybe you would like this better. Or this had a personal trigger for me, which is why I didn't enjoy it. But it's tough because I'm like, especially right now, because I'm thinking about it so much because I'm doing this reading blog where I'm reading thriller arcs. So these books, one of them's already come out at this point, but they haven't even come out yet. And so I'm like, if I don't like one of these, that feels so bad to say, because other people don't even have the chance to read it yet. And I don't want to encourage anyone to not read it just because I didn't like it. It's just like, I don't like to read about abusive men. Therefore, I did not enjoy this book anymore. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to be glib when you haven't created it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got, I know that I would be touchy and I would be in my reviews if I had written a book, you know, and I would be like really like upset about bad reviews, but like you have to kind of separate yourself from that when you're reviewing it and just be honest, because otherwise what's the point?
Yeah.
right.
But there is a way to do it that's not just
Being a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
no.
For me, I went to school for an English degree with a creative writing concentration.
Look
So
at this, Ashley.
this is like what I want to do, which is why I also feel bad when I hate a book, because I'm like, one of these days, if I do write a book, people are going to read it and then they're going to be like, oh, that bitch was on the internet saying Wryly Sager's book is trash.
Yes. Yeah. I'm the same. Like I minored or am minoring technically in creative writing. I don't have, like, I'm not doing anything now, but like one day, you know, like that's my like thought, like one day I'd love to, if I can get over my imposter syndrome.
Oh my gosh. I don't upload because of the I can't even imagine writing a book.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah.
But you know, you guys just have to think about the fact that like not everybody is going to like everything. You know, you're going to, everybody has different interests. So you're going to run into that, which sucks, but.
For sure.
I would love to write a book. I just don't have the capabilities to do so. Like, I would love to create some of this fan art that people make. Like, how are people so talented?
Yeah.
Or like play the violin. That's like a dream that I have. But like, I'll never be able to do that. I'm gonna be honest with myself.
You can still take violin lessons.
You can take violin. Anybody.
The thing holding me back more is being able to afford to play the violin, because it's a very expensive hobby.
That is true.
Like listening to violin music, like crying, like this could be me.
Aww.
I love that. What kind of music do you listen to, Hannah?
Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
She's like, okay.
This is gonna be like polar opposites here, but mostly I listen to like metal.
Really?
Okay.
Like hard rock.
That makes sense because
I want to play the violin. I'm crying as I'm listening to it, and I'm like, also metal.
Well, metal is also very intricate when it comes to like strings and guitar and string instruments. So like that I see the connection, even though it's a different aesthetic.
I mean, like I listen to Taylor Swift too, so
yeah.
So, like, you know, I listen to all kinds of different stuff. But like, if I was gonna play a musical instrument, if I could just be handed one right now and just gifted the ability, it'd be a violin, hands down.
Nice.
Oh, I like that.
Not that I could do anything with that for the music that I listen to, like a metal cover, like screaming in the background, jamming on the violin.
You could do like a what is that called? A reimagination of a song, you know?
Oh
like,
yeah.
This is what I thought. I knew Sav played an instrument. Sav plays violin and she teaches violin. Sav from Marcy Reads.
I think she lives in Wisconsin too. She
does, and she lives in Wisconsin. She's gonna be a violin teacher. Look at this, making connections.
There you are.
I need to find somewhere where I could rent a violin and not be like responsible for the upkeep of it.
Do that. Yeah.
They have that. My daughter was she took some kind of class, some not course, but instrument class. And for the instrument, I'm like, I'm not going to spend that much money for her to take this one class in elementary school and then never use it because they're expensive. I forgot what it was.
They're a lot.
Huh?
They're very expensive.
It's super expensive. And so I went to this music store and they actually rent them out. So you could find them like that and then you just return them, and
I should
it's
look
a
into
good way.
that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I remember demanding a what's it called? The thing, the keyboard, and it goes like this.
Or the accordion.
Yeah, I got one of those for Christmas. I'm like, how much did I make my mom spend on that for me to play with it for like one day?
That's
I
so
never knew how to
funny.
play it.
Oh my gosh.
Like, of all the things.
That
an
was what I
accordion.
wanted. I had a vision. I was like, I will be a master.
I would love to play an accordion, Ashley. I would love that. I did the same thing with a skateboard. I had a phase where I was like, I'm gonna be a skater. And that did not work out. And my mom ended up stepping on it and falling and hurt herself. And I felt guilty about it ever since. And I've never learned to use it.
Oh my gosh.
We all
That's
have
crazy.
dreams. Alrighty, what do you guys want to do? One more sprint for the night?
I'm down.
I'm game.
Cool. All right, let me pull it back up.
Oh, that gets me every time.
I had like 2 little paragraphs left to the end of my chapter.
Read
so
it,
I'm
read
gonna
it.
skim it.
I cannot find that comment. I thought it was Kat that said how to see the percentage on Scribd, and I'm looking through and I can't.
She said it was in the saved tab. If you hit to like saved, which I think is like the 3rd tab or something.
I wonder if you have to have. I wonder if you have to have downloaded it because I don't typically download them.
Oh, maybe.
Usually,
No,
I'll just
I think that have you gone to the save tab?
I'll see if I can see it.
I mean, I don't understand what the. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, in the bottom.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Oh yeah.
there
And
we
then
go.
it shows it like right under.
Awesome.
Hannah, what are you reading? I didn't think to ask since you finished a book. Book of Night! Yay, okay.
I got about 30 pages in. So far so good. I'm really enjoying it, but I know there's some controversy of it. And when I went to click like currently reading on Goodreads, I saw the like overall reviews and they're not great.
It's
Is
not
that-
going
so-
good.
Which one is that, Hannah?
It's Book of Night by Holly Black. This is her like debut adult novel.
She wrote the
And-
cool stuff. If you
I
know.
read
Yeah.
the first Squirrel Prince, but that's as far as I've gone.
Ashley said that there was like some Twitter drama surrounding this book, and
Is there?
gonna say,
There's always book Twitter drama.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. yes.
Someone tweeted about the book and like they didn't love it. I think they ended up DNFing it, and so they returned it to their bookstore to get their money back. And people were like, "You are stealing. That is theft. That is a terrible thing to do." It became this huge controversy.
Because you don't like a book and you want your money back, that's stealing. Do y'all
Oh,
feel the same
evidently.
way?
No.
Marcy's like, I'm not gonna say anything.
No, I will say it, but I'm just like, if you don't read the book, I understand like if you read the whole entire book and I get it, but if you DNF it at a certain point, you're not going to continue. Get your money back. Why? Oh gosh.
Yeah, I don't have Twitter anymore because there's just always it's just too much drama for me
It's
that I'm
too
like,
much. Yeah.
it doesn't give me
Yeah.
anything, but it
I like
causes
to check
so
in
much.
occasionally.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if my life's getting a little stale and I feel like I need to spice it up a little, I'm like, what's book Twitter talking about today? What are they mad
Like
about
watching a
today?
Kardashian show.
Mhm.
You just need a little drama. But yeah,
I don't even know
apparently
where to
people are
start
really
with that.
upset. Apparently people are really upset that this was like mismarketed.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I didn't really know anything about this. I just knew the vibes.
Is it
So,
fantasy though? It's fantasy, right?
yeah, I think so.
You
There's
guys
like magic, so
don't come at me.
Uh-oh.
But I've
This is
had
a
an
safe
arc.
space.
I've had an arc of this for I want to say like 4 months or 5 months, and I still haven't read it. That should be like my tagline. I still haven't read it. Oh, what am I doing with my
I'm
life?
Ashley hates everything. Marcy is Marcy doesn't read.
Channel says Marcy reads, but it's
Marcy
a
Reads.
lie.
Nope. You've been punked.
Oh, that's good.
Oh gosh, no, it's so hard to get around to arcs, especially. And if you're not like super excited for it, it's hard to get to any book. I have so many
Yeah.
books I've sat on my shelves for years, and I'm like, I was so excited to read it when I bought it, and I look at it, I'm like, I'm so excited for it, but I still just like never pick it up.
Yeah, and I was excited for. I mean, the Cruel Prince trilogy is like one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. I swoon
really?
over, oh my gosh, I swoon over those books and I love it. And so I actually requested this one. Oh, how embarrassing. And here I am.
You crack me up.
I'm going to change my name for one day and you guys are going to be laughing.
I'll change mine too. We'll pick a day.
Oh my gosh.
What's
I've,
mine? Reading dryly. Elizabeth goes on about ridiculous stuff, reading Wryly.
I love it. Yeah, I've had the Cruel Prince on my shelf. That's one that I like bought years ago, and I just haven't picked it up yet.
Oh, I love it. I mean,
like
it's
the
a
Full Print
so
series.
a YA, fantasy romance, but I don't know why I love those so much. Like ACOTAR and that, and what was the other one? The Bridget Kemmerer one.
Bridge Kingdom.
No,
Crystal Dark and Lonely.
Yes, I love. I mean, I just eat
I've
those
got that
books
one
up.
too.
Oh, I love them.
I had like a really long YA fantasy phase. And now I find it hard to get back to that. I started that Cruel Prince and I did like it, but I just never finished it. I get that one mixed up though with is it Black Witch? Is there something called Black Witch, or did I just make that up?
I think so.
There's another
And
one
it's a trilogy.
too that had the same kind of vibes. It was YA fantasy.
And it's a trilogy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I liked that one too.
It's got cool end papers too.
Nice. Look at that, how pretty. Yeah.
It's pretty.
I'm going backwards in the comments.
I mean, I just swoon over these books like I'm literally 15 years old. I don't understand it. I fall in love with the characters and I'm just like giddy and crying, and
That's how I felt about the ACOTAR books. And I never thought I would like those. I thought there was no
Addictive.
chance that I was going to like them. And I love them.
me
They're
too.
addictive.
Me too.
I think we
What'd
know
you-
that I love them.
Yeah.
I
You have like 6 copies of ACOM. You read it 9 times, maybe 10 now? Or
10
9 and
times.
10 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But what? Just one of the books or all of them?
Just Court of Mist and Fury. I've read 10 times. The other ones I've read like 5.
Just 5.
That's the best one, though. In my opinion, that's the best one. I've read all of them.
Mhm.
I read all of the Court of Thorns and Roses and all of the Throne of Glass
Yeah.
as well. And I loved both of them. I loved all of
They're
them.
so
Although,
good.
like, I'm kind of weaning off. Like, when I read The New Crescent City, kind of bummed me out a little bit. But I don't know if it's just, like, the phase that I'm in my life now.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I do
I still
love
haven't read the Silver Flames one.
Yeah.
I read like the first 200 or 300 pages. I just wasn't in the mood for it.
Yeah.
I just read the first 3 books in the ACOTAR series. I haven't read the little blue one yet, like the little
That one.
novella. That's not a novella. Like, no. I will stand on that bridge where that's not a novella, but okay. And I haven't finished the Throne of Glass series. I think I read the first 2 books, maybe. How many books are there?
A lot.
8.
Oh.
Honestly,
Well,
I think
Hannah is doing a read along right now
Oh,
for
are
all
you?
the SJM
Yeah.
books. I don't know, where are you guys at with the Throne of Glass right now?
We
You read a couple of
have
them.
our Queen of Shadows live show tomorrow.
Oh, cool. I might like sneak them in for whatever you guys are doing next month.
which
Sorry.
book is the Queen of
You
Shadows?
read 300 pages before deciding you weren't in the mood. It's a big book. It's like 800 pages.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
you're just getting started at that point.
Yeah.
I did that with Night Film. I read like around 300 pages, but I was like, no, done.
It just takes you a little bit longer to realize that you don't want to read that.
You know, yeah.
I
I did that with the Poppy War. I got well over halfway. I was like 300 pages into it, and then I DNF'd it.
I
didn't
could see
realize that
why.
book was that
I
long.
read that one. So on the reading sprints, I read a whole entire book. I read I Am Narwhal with Hadley and put her to bed. And she loved it. It was a 5-star review. So
Aww.
Count it on your Goodreads.
For real.
adding to Goodreads. So I
I
didn't
love
get far.
it.
I didn't get far in my book. We were putting the nugget to bed, so I got a little distracted. But I actually like rewound because I feel like I zoned out for a little bit. So I'm actually farther behind than I was at the last minute. but it is what it is.
I don't know how far I got into mine. I will
Yeah, I
be
don't know
very
either.
impressed if I've read more than I read more than 20. Oh no, I think I never changed my bookmark. But I'm like on page 230 and I am loving this book. This book is told in like multiple timelines, and one of the timelines is the present time, and then the other timelines are from the beginning of the dad recounting from the beginning of when the Wanderer's Folly started hitting everything. And so because he's a professor, and so he's recounting what happened at the school and like the progression of it as you're seeing present day time. So I'm loving like the dual timeline.
I typically do pretty well with a dual timeline. I think
Yeah.
it's a really good way to, like, especially with thrillers, and to like hide things. Like, you can hide. Some people would consider it cheating as far as storytelling goes, but I think it's a really good device to use to hide things from the reader in order to just keep on switching perspectives and timelines, and then come back and be like, oh, but you didn't think about this. So I typically I love a dual timeline. There are some that don't work so well for me, but yeah. I like that device in general.
Yeah.
I can't read too many of them back to back is what I'm finding recently. Like if I keep picking up thrillers, especially if I don't know that there's going to be a dual timeline, then I'm like, I thought this was going to be exciting in the present, and you keep pulling me back into this other story that I don't really care about as much. But if it's like advertised and you know there's two timelines, then I'm more on board for it most of the time.
I agree with that. Like that's when it's frustrating is when you care about one more than the other, or like we were talking, I just read Sundial and we talked about this a little bit, but like I was not, and I think that actually was part of it. I didn't know it was going to go into that past timeline, because when I first started it, it was in the current timeline and I got really invested. And so when most of the book ended up being that past timeline, I was a little bit, I was not invested in that. And then books like Karen Slaughter's Pieces of Her, where she has the dual timeline, but it's a different perspective as well. And she doesn't tell you what that perspective is from or where that second perspective is from. And so it's meant to be like a reveal, but she waited too long, in my opinion, to tell you the reveal. And so by the time you get to it, you just don't care.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I need to know going in order to be invested in that. Otherwise it's just like, I can't put that much faith in this timeline that it's going to at some point come together.
Right.
So I think that's why Pieces of Her is a less popular book, although the adaptation was good. That is actually, that I should have mentioned. I think the adaptation is actually maybe better than the book for that reason.
Oh.
Because
I watched that show, but I haven't read the book.
You did watch it?
Yeah, I don't really remember it much, honestly. Like I kind of just put it on in the background, so I wasn't paying the most attention to it. I did in the beginning, and I kind of phased out of it. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I love Toni Collette. She's so good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
love.
I'm dying right now because I really want to watch The Staircase on HBO, and we don't have HBO. And they made that Toni Collette's and what's his name? Mr. Darcy. What is his name? Colin Firth.
Other one.
Toni Collette and Colin Firth.
There's only two. I had a 50-50 shot. I went with the one I like.
Are in the adaptation of The Staircase, which obviously is like real life, but like they're doing a fictionalized version of it on HBO. And I just like, I'm like, Jordan, can you like get a torrent? Like we need to like, I gotta see this somehow. Otherwise we need to get HBO immediately because I have to watch this.
You can probably do like a trial. Maybe
Yeah.
Like 30 day.
That's what I was going to say.
I think I've already done that.
New email account.
A new email account. Yeah.
Is that a thing? Can I do that?
Yeah, you can use
Probably.
like your husband's account or yeah.
All right.
But that might be stealing.
I mean,
You might make Twitter mad.
I will.
Twitter's always mad.
What is it with those people? They're so oh no. Let's delete that.
Oh, out of here. No, thank you.
Oh,
Why
hello.
do people do that? I don't understand.
Every time.
Ugh.
I
don't even know what
do
I was
want to
saying.
talk about this though, the staircase. I haven't looked at this much at the trailers of it because I've seen the Netflix documentary. I assume it's the same story. They're fictionalizing it. Have you seen the Netflix documentary too?
Yes,
Is it Netflix? I think it's
I-
Netflix.
I believe so.
And they're just fictionalizing it.
Yeah. And yeah, it's Colin Firth, Toni Collette, and I'm sure they will take some liberties here and there, but like, I'm here for the owl theory. Like,
Me
Oh my
too.
gosh, me too.
Me too.
I want to see where they take it. Like, I am so invested.
Oh my gosh, that ending when they talk about that, I'm like, yes. Why can't I mean? It's so possible.
Like,
Hannah, do you have any idea what we're talking about?
No.
Okay,
I
so
was
the
just thinking in my
staircase.
head, I'm like, I am an idiot.
I can see how we're just like the owls.
Yeah.
The owls.
Not
And she's
well.
like,
I'm just sitting here like,
So this is a true crime case where this guy's wife ended up dead at the bottom of a staircase, and there was a whole legal, whatever you call it, court case around whether or not he did it. And so there's all the different theories, like people who believe that he killed her because he also had another wife end up at the bottom of a staircase previously in his life. So like, what are the odds of that? There are people who really think he's innocent. And then there are people who think an owl flew in and attacked her head at the top of the staircase, causing her to fall to the bottom of the staircase to
She
her
had
demise.
lacerations on her head that some people don't think the stairs could explain. And then there's a whole theory where he took a fire
a poker.
thing, but then I think they disproved that. But I think, what's his name? Is it Michael Peterson? Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah, he was an author.
And he's an author.
In Durham, North
He
Carolina.
was passed, and he was having affairs with men, which he says that she knew about. And so it just kind of like discredits him as far as like general opinion of him. Not to say that that's a bad thing, you know, like if they agreed on it, that's fine, whatever. But like, and then so he has all these kids that are like also from like separate families that have all come together who like all have separate opinion. It's like a mess. It's a big mess. And I think he's guilty, but he ended up taking an Alford plea, where he which basically means that he did not admit to being guilty, but took time served and then was released. And so I'm just excited to see where they take this with the
I know the whole owl thing, you know, and I don't necessarily, I think that he is, I mean, well, I guess we'll never know, but I do think he's guilty. But I feel like maybe the way everything started was through the attack, and he just took that opportunity and was like, okay, here we are. Let's finish this off kind of situation. But it's just so weird. It's just so weird, like the shape on the head, like the claw marks, if you will, and like the what was it, the feathers. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Unless he did all of that afterwards. I don't know.
I just like when I look at him and when I hear him speak, he's very much like has this air of like he thinks he's better than everybody. You know, he has this like confidence to him, but also this narcissistic trait that I'm just like, you know what? He might just be narcissistic enough to try to get rid of his wife and think he can get away with it. You know, and it's an interesting case, Hannah. You should watch it. It's
I'm kind of intrigued. Yeah, that's
it's
interesting.
definitely
They did really good with the documentary too. It was really engaging. He reminds me too of the Chris, what's his name?
Oh my gosh, this asshole.
Watts, is that what it is?
Oh, I cannot stand that man. Ew, ew, ew.
Yeah, and the Netflix show they did on him was so good too, because you get the police cam footage, and so you're watching him pretend like he has no idea that his wife and children are dead because he killed them.
Isn't it unbelievable? Like,
and it's unbelievable. It's so terrifying to watch someone just lie like that about something so intense, and that's the same vibes that I get from this Michael guy.
Absolutely.
And this guy, this guy is so calm, but at the same time, he's not when he's talking. Like, you can notice these little things, and you're just like, guy, how can you just stand there after you've done what you've done to your daughters? Okay, I get it, the wife, and she was pregnant, but those little angels.
Marcy's like, the wife, I understand.
No, not like I understand, but like, damn, okay, but I get like an adult, but two little angels, you know what I mean? Like, how can you bring yourself to do that?
And then how he tries to like spin it into saying that she killed them.
Oh,
like he just kept changing his story.
Psychopath.
Yes.
Also, Matthew, I think Adnan's guilty too. I like Adnan, but I think he's guilty.
Who is that?
Yeah, remind me of this. I know the name.
It's from the podcast Serial. And
I don't listen to.
Oh, it's another really good podcast where he was. Actually, there's a book too that I've been meaning to read that's written by the girl who made the podcast. And I forget her name.
Oh, Ashley something or other.
I don't think so.
Is it something about flowers? Maybe isn't her name? Maybe that's a different podcast. I know there's a true crime podcast person who just is coming out with a book, and it's like a house and slanted words.
Yeah, they were in high school and he was dating her, and she ended up dead in this like really kind of creepy part of town, this like shady part of town. And this podcast is made by someone who is not related to him, but like had a relationship with him. I'm saying it poorly. Knew him, and she's basically trying to prove his innocence. He's in jail currently, I believe, for her killing. But she started this podcast as like a series to try to prove his innocence, and really did a good job of investigating it and delving really deep into it. And so it's kind of planting this doubt as to whether or not he is
I was thinking of this.
He's guilty or not. Ashley Flowers, Kat says, yeah. I don't follow crime junkies, so I don't know about that one. If I was on the jury, I would have found him innocent because evidence was so bad. Yeah, and I think it's one of those situations where the case got really messed up, and so like really like they don't have the evidence to keep him there, but like he could still be guilty. It's one of those like one of those gray areas where like we really can't prove it, but a lot of people think he is guilty. So
wow, I didn't know about that.
But he's very charismatic, and she talks to him on the phone from prison, and so you get a lot of his side of the story. And he is a likable guy. Like he's very charismatic, and it's easy to kind of fall in with his side of the story. So it's if you're interested, Serial is a really, really good podcast.
I'm going to check it out. I don't like listening to podcasts, like, which I find hilarious because I listen to audiobooks, but podcasts like bore me sometimes. But I'm going to check this one out because it seems interesting.
Yeah. It's like a classic at this point. It's very made her really famous. What is her name?
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I didn't realize it was just one story. I thought it was just kind of like the other true crime podcast where they just talk about something different all the time.
Oh, it says Sarah Cohen.
Oh, Sarah Koenig, I think is it. Yeah. Rabia Chaudhry. That's who I was thinking of. Yes. So Sarah Koenig is the host of the podcast, and Rabia Chaudhry is the one who wrote the book, and she's the one who knew him. Okay. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that. Who said that? Caitlin. Thank you.
I'm dying.
Is anybody watching Candy?
I'm dying.
I've watched 2 episodes, and I'm loving the vibes. The like 70s, 80s vibes are so on point.
Yeah.
I love that Jessica Biel is like not glamorous.
Yeah.
She's like one of the most gorgeous people alive.
I know.
It's so crazy to see her in this role where she's like just kind of nerdy looking and awkward.
Yeah.
This like weird Christian lady.
Yeah. They really transformed her. They did such a good job. And she like her. I haven't watched it. I just watched the trailers, but my daughter was raving. She's like, Mom, you have to watch it. What I did start watching though was Under the Banner of Heaven.
Yeah. I started that one too.
I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm enjoying it. It's just a little
Mhm.
slow.
It is slow. I've only watched the first episode.
What's that one about?
Ashley explains better than me. I get all.
Oh, this is gonna be real vague. Mormons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's enough, really. What's
Yeah.
Summarize. One word.
It's
Where's it streaming?
it's about Hulu,
Okay.
and it's Andrew Garfield is in it.
Say no more.
prominently.
Say no
Yeah.
more.
Love him.
I love him too.
I don't know. It's like a true case that happened, and I have heard of it before, but I didn't know a lot of details about it. And I saw the show is coming out. People were really excited about it. So I started the show and I didn't really know what was going on. So I Googled it and just read the Wikipedia page, and that explains it pretty well about like what happened. But I can't regurgitate it very well.
Yeah, it's he walks into this murder where it's a mom and I don't know how many, I think it's just a baby. And they're all slaughtered in there, and so they're trying to figure out who is, they're at the scene and they're trying to figure out who it is. And across the street there's a guy walking towards them and he's full of blood, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, but I don't know if he's the father and the husband of this woman, or if he's just related. But basically, this town is very heavy on the Mormon religion, and the detective, which is Andrew Garfield, he is Mormon as well. And so this guy, as they're questioning him or like talking to him, he's saying how he was trying to break apart from the Mormon family because they're just all kinds of wrong. And Andrew Garfield is like, what? And so it's this whole religion and faith-based thing that they're, having against each other.
And
but that was the first 2 episodes. So
the best part that I forgot to mention is that Daisy Edgar Jones is in it.
Oh,
who's Daisy Edgar Jones?
Fresh.
Hold on.
Oh, the girl, like the main girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I loved Fresh. That was so.
Yeah, I'm now obsessed with Daisy Edgar Jones. She's also going to be in the Where the Crawdads Sing movie, which I still haven't read, but I will now read it if she's going to be in a movie for it.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't seen Fresh yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, yeah. Golden Girl says he is the father, and the baby was 15 months old. And when the guy walks into the detective and he sees this scene, it really fucks with him because of his faith and stuff. And so he's just diving into this case.
I like exploring that kind of faith-based thriller and horror.
Me too.
To me, because I don't maybe unpopular views as far as that goes, but and I feel like organized religion in general can be very deceptive, can be very manipulative. So like it's interesting when that's worked into like that kind of situation where it plays on the heartstrings and definitely creates motives that are intriguing for sure. Yeah.
I love faith-based horror. Oh my gosh, it is my favorite. And not because I am Christian, but I fought like I'm like in this whole like war right now. Not really, but I do believe the same thing, that it's just organized thing and it's all about rules and trying to control people, honestly, is what I believe. But I do believe in God and all of that. So seeing it in horror, it just tickles me so much because there's so much good and evil in it, that you can play with. It's I find it amazing. I think that even if I wasn't a believer,
with just like the organized groups, the same thing with cult ideology.
Exactly.
Yes. So interesting.
It's a thin line. It's a very thin line.
It's very thin. I love anytime that there's a book about a cult, like whether it's fiction or not, I instantly love it. It could be the worst book. Like Everybody Hates the Project by Courtney Summers. And it was one of my favorite books in 2020. I love that book so much.
Oh, I haven't read it.
But everybody hates it. And I'm just like, I love it.
I haven't liked a cult book yet, is what I'm finding.
No.
I've read like at least 5 or 6 at this point, and I don't love any of them. The first one that I read, I don't know if it was the first ever, but one of the first ones was Godshot by Chelsea Beaker. And I read that like 2019, 2020. So it was like right either when I started BookTube or before I started BookTube. And I liked that then. I don't know if I would like it as much now, but the like This Might Hurt that came out a couple months ago. Just didn't love that one either.
I haven't read that one.
I don't think I've explored cult fiction enough. Like I don't have an opinion on it yet.
Mhm.
It's something that intrigues me. I definitely want to read Just Like Mother by Anne.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I want to read that too.
Excuse me.
For the cover alone.
Yeah, that's one that I'm interested in. But and there's a Lucinda Berry one that I'm interested in too. When She Returned or something like that, something about a return. But I've heard that the ending's terrible, so I'm scared to get into it because I've heard that it's so good. I watched Haley Hughes did a vlog reading all Lucinda Berry, and she read that and she was so into it, like this is gonna be 5-star like the whole way, and then the very end she was like 1 star or like 2 star or something. She was like the end was absolutely terrible, and so I'm terrified.
That's horrible.
Pat just released a vlog with Just Like Mother in it, and I watched that today and really loved that. She read, if you guys are interested, she read a bunch of new releases that I'm interested in that vlog that I was happy to see someone reading. So y'all check that out if you're
I
have an arc of I'm so behind on videos. Oh my gosh. Like I have like this whole watch list. I'm like, I'm never gonna get to any of these, but I have an arc of Just Like that I haven't read.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I get all of their books automatically. They just email them to me. But
I did like this one. I did like A History of Wild Places.
Loved A History of Wild Places.
So that's one that I like.
Oh,
but that one doesn't feel very culty.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Ooh, popcorn.
I think that one doesn't feel culty in the way that
I agree.
When someone says like it's a dark cult book, that isn't what I think that is.
It's more magical. It's more magical and very, I agree.
Yeah. But it is good.
Yeah.
And then yes, I do plan on reading Just Like Mother. I'm still gonna keep reading cult books and torture myself if I keep hating them. I just want to love them.
Oh. So does anybody else, okay, this might be weird, but like when I'm behind on like watching BookTube, in my shower, okay, hear me out. I have a shower curtain that has like pockets in it in the inside. And so I will bring my phone in the shower and put it in
there.
And
I will watch BookTube in the shower. Does anyone else do that? Is that weird?
I've taken live shows before. I've taken a live show to the shower because I'm like, well, I don't want to get off. I still want to hear what they're talking about, but I really need to shower right now. So, and you don't have to see it, you can just like hear it like a podcast.
Yeah.
You gotta carve out that time somewhere,
You do. You do.
You're just taking the shower, you're taking the shower.
I love it. I never thought about that.
There's a comment way back up here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but I think it was Kim who was asking, yep, I'm here. Marcy, if there is a date for the Firestarter live show. So I thought this would be a good way to close out is everyone promote whatever it is you've got going on, whatever you want to let the people know of. Marcy, you've got a live show coming up.
It's actually for Horror in 24. I'm going to check. So y'all tell y'all things and then I'll look because I don't know if we set a date yet for that.
Okay. Hannah, would you like to talk about Sarah J. Maas?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure most of the people here are like thriller horror people, and I'm like the little weirdo, but I am doing.
No, I like it.
Good. Okay. I am doing Sarah J. Maas read along with my friend Christina from Christina's Chapters. So we're reading every Sarah J. Maas book that's been published, and we're up to Queen of Shadows. We started with the Throne of Glass series. And we do reading sprints every other week, but you don't have to be participating to do those because we don't discuss anything. We just read. And then we do a live show discussion for each book. So our Queen of Shadows one is tomorrow night. And then we're doing a tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn at the same time. So you can hop in for one series or all of them, whatever you want.
Okay, I have a question because there is a I think it's a Sarah J. Maas book that's like backlist. That's like a Catwoman type thing or something.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That one?
Of course.
Is it any good?
I liked it when I read it, but I haven't ever reread it. So I don't know when it came out, like a while back, several years ago. But I just really like Sarah J. Maas's writing. So like honestly, it doesn't matter what she's writing. I like what she writes. So I really liked that one. It made me want to read like Catwoman comics.
Okay.
But I've not read any. The only like comics that I've ever read is Harley Quinn. I wish she wrote a Harley Quinn book. That would be so cool. But yeah, that's in our read along too. We have like all these massive series that are like 8 books long. You know, the ACOTAR series is now like 5 books long, and then it's like Catwoman standalone.
That's awesome because it keeps you like motivated and inspired to keep going to read with all the people when you just want to give up on the series because they're too long.
Yeah.
They're definitely intimidating. I will say, like, before I started BookTube, I loved like the longer the book, the better. And like now that I am kind of in a place where I have to like produce content, I'm gearing more the other way. Like it's like I want shorter stuff that's going to hit hard and then like leave me reeling. It's harder for me to invest that time into like those 700,000 page books than it used to be when I was reading at my leisure.
Yes.
Me too. Like I always think about my like what's my wrap up going to look like at the end of the month. So if I read a series and it's like 5 books, then half my wrap up was just one series.
That was me last
month. Yeah, with the Zodiac Academy.
I read all the Zodiac Academy books last month, so my wrap up was half Zodiac Academy books.
Yeah, I gotta give it to fantasy readers for that.
Yeah,
especially like adult fantasy, because those books are like so intimidating. The Brandon Sandersons, the like Robin Hobb, the like all of that stuff. I'm just like, I'm too intimidated.
Yeah, I think I'm like I'm in the middle of Brandon Sanderson's first trilogy, and I've read the first 2 books, and I think it's been like 2 years since I haven't picked up the 3rd book yet. So it's like one of these things where your motivation or your oomph sort of just like dwindles.
Guys, yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks because I really enjoy. I'll pick it up at one point, but by the time you pick up the 3rd book or the 4th book, so long after, you just forget what happens in the first 2 books, and the books are like thick.
Is that Mistborn?
Yes, the Mistborn trilogy. I read Elantris, loved it. That was his first book, standalone. If you want to like read a standalone fantasy novel by him, I would do that one. Even though a lot of people don't like that one, I loved it. And then I'm reading his books in chronological order, just like Stephen King, and I just get over it at some point. I'm like,
Yeah. Did you find out your
okay, so she wanted to know about the resting place, and she said Firestarter instead. So the resting place is for Stacks of Strange, and we don't have a live show date yet. But I don't know if you are on our Discord. We'll post it there, I guess, whenever we do decide. And Carol will probably put it in the community tab on her YouTube.
Where can you find that link for that Discord if you're not already in it?
I usually have it in my description box, like if it's a TBR video, but I think usually Rain has it on her description, like on the live shows, she'll have the Discord on there.
What's her YouTube name?
Bruce. Oh, wait, hold on.
I think Kat might have it in her description too. I think that's how I found it.
I'm wondering if she might have it as well. But Rain is Bruise and Binds. Oh my gosh, I have Shelf Possessed on here because you talked about him, and I have it like saved here so that I can watch them, and I can't get
They're so funny. I love them. David and Craig, they're hilarious.
Never watched them, so I'm like excited to check them out.
Yeah, they crack me up. I suppose I will post my sliding doors vlog at some point. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's basically, there's a Gwyneth Paltrow movie from the 1990s called Sliding Doors, and it's a movie about her life. She lives her life up into a point, and there's a moment where somebody distracts her and she misses the subway. She's had a shit day at work. She gets fired. She's going home. She misses the subway, and all of this terrible stuff happens to her. And then we switch over to another kind of alternate universe where she did not get distracted. She did not miss the subway. She goes home to find her partner in bed with another woman. We follow both paths for the rest of the story, whether she found that out or whether she didn't. So in this vlog, which I suppose I'm going to post, I read 3 books that had that same kind of formula where you follow somebody down 2 paths of their life. And then I'm also working on like a thriller suspense vlog right now as well. So keep your eyes out for that, I suppose.
That sounds so interesting. I love it.
That.
I love the idea. That's why I was interested in it. There's also a musical. I don't know if anyone's a weirdo like me that loves musicals, but there's a musical called If Then, starring Idina Menzel, who is Elphaba in Wicked. And that has the same premise, and the music is amazing. If anyone's interested, that is a really good show.
I love Idina Menzel.
Oh, I love her so much.
Kim,
she'll
hit
put
us up
the
with the
Discord.
Discord link.
Oh,
so you
good.
can
I'm going to follow
hit
it.
the comments too.
Thank you, Kim.
Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for joining us for some Friday night sprints. Thanks for choosing to spend your Friday night with us. And thank
This was
you to all
fun.
of my friends for joining me. I love
thank you
reading
for
with
having
all
us,
of you.
Ashley.
Thanks for having us.
This was fun.
It was a
Definitely.
blast. Like, I enjoyed it so much.
I know. I feel like
learned
I
about
read
the owl
like nothing,
theory.
but
We're
got plenty
learning-
of shows to watch, books to read, all
Yeah.
the recs tonight. But
For sure.
yeah, thank you all for joining. Yes, Denise, let's do it again sometime, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.